there, folks. Glad you joined us this morning or evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Mike, aka Mike in the Truck. I'm in the land of misfit toys, and joining me is Chris Slovick from halfway around the world. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Chris, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tonight I went out to dinner at a place called Arno's,
Our
and I was
nose,
really happy. Arno's, Arno and apostrophe S.
M O
It
U
is a
S E.
steak place.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
steak.
Arno's, and it was steak. So I go to Arno's, and for the first time internationally, I had prime rib. Prime rib's a very American thing. When you go outside the United States, you don't see prime rib at all. But tonight I found it, I had it, and it was good. When I ask for, here's the thing: if you go internationally and you watch this, when you ask for rare, everything is slid down the scale a lot. So when you ask for rare, it's basically raw.
I was gonna
And
say
when you
right
ask
out of the
for well
freezer.
done, yeah, almost. It's just heated up a little bit. It's heated up a
No,
little bit. When you
no.
ask for well done, when you ask for well done, that means that 75% of it is not pink and 25% is. That's well
that
done.
that's medium well, close to medium
Yeah.
well, which is actually what
So
I
it's
like.
Yeah. So you just slide everything down the list, and that's what it is. So if you like rare in the States, ask for medium rare. And if you like medium rare in the States, ask for well done. And then you'll be good.
You just can't get well done. Uh, Speaking of well done, how about this this Cincinnati Bengal team that's playing today against the Rams? Who do you like before we even begin with our NFL 100?
Uh, you get a feeling about Super Bowls. And this is a Super Bowl where statistically it's going to be a bore. And the reason I say that is in the playoffs, you only get so many close games. You can't keep having games this
I
crazy.
don't know. I don't know. I think it could be, and I
I
think
think
the I
it
think
could be.
I mean uh, I don't know if you've I've told you the Pittsburgh guy. Excuse the name, folks, if you never heard this being said. Urinating tree. I watch his feeds, and I think he's exactly right. This this um, this year has just been absolutely nutty. I mean, it's just like it's improbable. It's like it's Hollywood
Yeah.
scripted. It's just some of the insanity that's happened, and he picked what he picked, and he knows he was kidding. He knows it would just be impossible when he did his playoff uh, roundup for all the teams that are in the playoffs. And so after he did that, he made a Super Bowl prediction, and he said Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. Why? Because both teams are terrible. Neither one of them should even be in the playoffs. And the way everything is
Yeah.
going, it would make sense, and we'd have a Keystone State Super Bowl, and Pennsylvania would implode on itself. And
Yeah.
on the surface, with all the craziness, it made sense. I mean, logically, no. You know he was joking. You know he was
Yeah.
joking. But, I mean, he was in the spirit of being silly. But I mean, look at everything that's happened. I could, at the beginning of the season, my take was I thought it was going to be the Rams early on, and it's still very possible it could be the Rams. But there is so much tied to Cincinnati. They want this beyond bad to win this thing. It reminds me of 1997, the Broncos. When I saw them beat Kansas City, I mean, I thought Kansas City was the better team, but I'm watching that game and going, there is an element that no stat can define, and that's heart. And these guys are playing their hearts out to a degree I don't think I've seen in a team. They want to get Elway in the Super Bowl to give them a chance to win. And then they got the chance. They beat Pittsburgh, and they go in, and all the odds makers were saying it's going to be Green Bay. It's going to be Green Bay. It's going to be, and you look at the on paper, the statistics. If it's all numbers, you had to go with Green Bay. But I'm sitting there thinking, I think Denver's going to win this thing. And people are saying, you're out of your mind. I said, no, I think Denver is going to win this thing. And I'm friends with Dave Holt, who made NFL Pro League football. And he had the highest, his simulation had the highest difference with the percentage between winners. It was like over 70% of the time Green Bay won. And he was only wrong once predicting Super Bowls since 1987 season. He had the Bills beating the Giants in the Super Bowl by a field goal at the end of the game, which almost happened.
Yeah.
But he said no, and I said, Dave, I think Denver's gonna win this. I think there's so much heart in this. They want this so bad, especially Elway wants it bad, obviously, but his team wants it for him too. And I've just never seen a level like this before. I think Denver's going to win this with their heart. I mean, they've got ability, but Green Bay is a better team, in my opinion. But I think Denver's going to win this thing. And so what he did was he told me, okay, I'm going to give you four scores that kept coming up when Denver would beat Green Bay. I want you to write them down. Like, okay, I wrote the four scores down. One of the four scores, he said it kept happening, but there was a safety that Denver would commit on Green Bay, and that was what helped propel them to win it. So he gave me the four scores. I said, okay. He said, now, if Denver wins, take out that piece of paper and see if it's one of the four scores. I said, okay. So watch the game. Denver wins. I take out that piece of paper. I called Dave. I said, I told you, I told you, I told you. And he said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I took out the piece of paper. I'll be doggone. One of those four scores was the final score.
31-24.
31-24 was one of the four
Yeah.
that kept coming up when Denver would win. Now, um, he told me something, and I said the Giants playing. See, the Giants we're about to see. We're about to see the 2007 Giants. This leads as a segue to our game. The 2007 Giants in our NFL 100 is playing the 2013 Seahawks. And the same thing happened with the 2007 Super Bowl with the undefeated Patriots and the Giants. And I said, the Giants are on fire. The Patriots look like they're running out of gas, in my opinion. With the
Yeah,
AFC
the Taylor beat
Championship
San
game,
Diego.
they've played each
Yeah.
other. The Giants played them close. The last, I think New York's going to pull the upset. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. His sim said if Brady gets sacked at least three times, the Giants win just over 50% of the time. But Brady has to be sacked at least three times in our sim. He got sacked that many times or more, and the Giants won. And he told me that before the Super Bowl. If it's three times or more, then the Giants have a slight advantage percentage-wise of winning that game. The other one he did was the Colts, um, uh, the Colts Bears Super Bowl. He said that there's going to be a bunch of turnovers in this game, and he actually stated the number of turnovers in the first quarter. He was -1 away from the right number of turnovers in the first quarter. First play in the second quarter was a turnover. That added up. So, which was, his game was great. But anyway, I digress. '07 Giants, who upset the undefeated Patriots. 2013 Seahawks, who upset the 2013 Peyton Manning
Bronco. Yeah.
Broncos team that set records at the wazoo. So these are two teams that
It,
were underdogs. Who do you like in this one?
well, I'll tell you a funny story. My funny story is I went on eBay or Amazon, I forget which one back then, and I got this old pro football game from the 1970s. And it's one where you put in a card, the other person puts in a card, you put in your play, and when you push it, like you slide it and they slide it, and when you push the play button, the light bulb shines through and tells you the result. And we said, okay, well, I'll be Denver, and they were generic teams. I'll
Right.
be Denver, and you be Seattle. Guy's name was Josh Johnson. It was great. First play that I do, I'm Denver. So I get the kick, and I had a bad return. I was back only to the 10-yard line. First play, I lost 11 yards on a safety.
Safety. Oh my
And I
God.
go like this. I go, this is the stupidest thing ever. This doesn't do anything. Like, okay, it's going to be 2-0 on the first play of the Super Bowl, I guess. Okay. So now they kick off or whatever. And we're watching the game. And he wins. He won big as Seattle. I mean, he won big. He won. It was now back then. We didn't even finish the game. It was like 40-0 at the point. We go, there's no way. There is no way, or whatever. So anyway, first play of the game, bam, safety. I'm like, oh my God. I said, well, is it going to be 40-0? It can't be there. There was a point when it was a shutout. It was like 34-0.
Wow.
And I'm like, this guy, how the hell? We're not even coaches, and we just took generic teams.
Right.
I don't know how this worked out. Honestly, I see this is going to be a very good game. I think New York has an underrated defense. I think a very, very, very underrated defense. I think it's going to be maybe a 1-point game. I know it says 5 here,
Yeah.
probably because you're playing in Seattle.
Well, they are playing
And
inside on the over under
yeah,
is 38, which is a little bit lower than I thought. Um, but yeah, interesting.
so we could see the upset. I could see the upset here.
Now you know what button I don't push. Well, anyway, that's an
Yeah,
inside joke.
yeah.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually where was it? It's under Scout. Let's see what we have here. There's Pete Carroll, and he will be
I will
whoops,
say a good thing about Pete Carroll. I know he gets a bad rap.
and Tom Coughlin,
Um,
who is 2-0 in Super Bowls, I might add. And Pete Carroll went to
yes,
back
he
to back,
is.
but he's 1-1, and he would be 2-0 if you just ran Marshawn Lynch 4 times. One of those times he would have gotten in the end zone. Just like Chris
Yeah.
Collinsworth said, he is almost unstoppable. You had 4 stabs in the end zone with Marshawn Lynch. One of them
Yeah, and
he's
the
going to
first
get a
one,
yard. One of
yeah,
them.
well, the first one got 4 yards. Remember, at the 5 yard line, they ran it to Marshawn Lynch and got down to the 1 yard line. So it's
He's
second and
going
goal from the one.
he's going to get okay 3
Yeah,
times. He's going to get in one of those 3 times.
yeah. If
Or
you want to give him a
even
rest,
Russell
quarterback
Wilson,
sneaking.
even
Yeah,
Russell
quarterback
Wilson,
sneaking.
he could have done that maybe on fourth. But you win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
What is the well, number one, the greatest relief in the history of NFL football is Russell Wilson. Why? Because of the play call. Nobody's ever going to blame Russell Wilson for that horrible pass and the interception because he put that in the only place where they could have intercepted it. But because the play call was so bad,
Yeah.
nobody ever goes, how in the heck could he have thrown a pass like that? What in the heck?
Well, I remember
He gets off
watching
the
that
hook.
and watching them drop back to throw the ball. I literally went like, "Wait, what?" And then the pick, and I just sat there. I mean, I didn't have one team I was rooting for the other, but I just sat there stunned at the result. Now, 2 things. It was an incredible defensive play on top of a dumb play call.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was going to be a quarterback draw. I'm like, oh, they're trying to fan him out. And as soon as he threw it, I screamed, it's in the air.
yeah,
And then it's like
I didn't say anything.
intercepted.
I just sat there thinking to myself, "What?" And my stomach sank because it was a great Super Bowl. But now, if it was four downs and the Patriots stopped them, a la San Francisco, Cincinnati in the first Super Bowl,
Yeah.
if that happened, you can't argue. I mean, it would be a great defensive stand by New England. That's it. I mean, this was an amazing defensive play, but it was like got to be one of the dumbest, if not the dumbest, play call in history. You lost the
Yeah.
Super Bowl over that. To me, it was just like, I know the Patriots fans are sitting there going, "We don't care. We won the daggone game. We'll take it, sure."
Yeah. When they
But
look at the banners, you
it's
can't
just
tell.
like,
Yeah.
what a way to end it was just like, it's like, why? If it was
Why?
4 runs with Marshawn Lynch and or Russell Wilson and you got stuffed and you didn't get in, I could absolutely live with that and still say it was a great game and kudos to the Patriots. But that was just like my what moment, and I literally just my stomach just sank. It was just like, it's going to end like
Yeah.
this.
I wish the roles were reversed because when I was an equipment guy at Pitt, Pete Carroll's son was a tight end, Brennan Carroll, and Brennan was a good guy. He was a solid guy. He was somebody I didn't know many of the players. I was an equipment guy, and it's not like high school, so you really are separated from the players. You got your own stuff to do. We have our own jobs and stuff, but you know a few and all that. You get to talking to a few. He was always a solid guy to me. So whenever I saw them on the 6 yard line, they ran down to the one, I thought, this is great. As a Steeler fan, somebody I knew in college, his dad is going to beat the Patriots. Like, actually beat them. Actually beat them. This is great. And then all of a sudden, when they threw that, I'm like, okay, never, ever, ever bring up. I was in Arizona at the time as a school counselor in Miami, Arizona. And I'm like, okay, let's not ever bring up that story of when I was an equipment guy, didn't know. Because everybody in Arizona, they all hate the Seahawks because of the Cardinals, but they were all rooting for the Seahawks. And I'm like, all right, don't ever bring up. They're
I
like, what is he doing?
I
I'm
did
like,
kind of want Seattle to win only because I saw the NFC Championship game and they shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl, and they pulled that off. And then they're
yeah.
in the Super
Oh,
Bowl. They came back, and then they had their Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman moment with the ball on the body, and he gets up and he runs in. I was waiting for Al Michaels to say he did what, because Al Michaels was calling the game, and he didn't do it. I was a little disappointed at Al Michaels for that because it was obvious. Those are three words you should have come out of your mouth when that happened, even though he didn't score. Um,
yeah.
but anyway, we're making small talk. Let's get into this game. I say it's going to be closer than you think, but I'm going to still say Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to say that because they're a very solid team. They got everything. But I think that in the beginning, New York might score a couple times early because they have Eli Manning. And if they decide to air it out early, it could be a very unique game. I don't see it going back and forth if New York wins. I see it going big New York, and then Seattle can't come back if New York wins. On the
Well,
other hand, I think if it goes back and forth, I just think Seattle is too solid of a team offensively. I mean, defensively, I actually think New York's better. But
nah,
offensively, I think Seattle's a
New
little more
York is nothing to
versatile.
sneeze at by any means. They're very solid defensively, but
Yeah.
they're going against the Legion of Boom. I no, I got to go with Seattle's defense on that. But anyway,
You get
we're
one at
about to
home,
find
too.
that too,
Yeah.
and they've got the 12th man. So as we are about to kick off, we'll hit our national anthem.
Please rise everyone for our national anthem.
All right, well, I kind of feel like the Super Bowl as we had 6 hours of talking, and finally here's the game. But it's all good. And the kick will be into the end zone, and it'll be a cutback. Yeah, so New York will start off first down and 10. Yes, do not touch the red buttons there. It's like, oh, well, wait a second. First and 10 for Manning and New York. And
Second
he
down.
goes down. I'm wondering if this is going to be one of those games where it's like 2-0, like Super Bowl IX at halftime.
Well, what's the
Second
first?
and 13.
What's the first play that just happened?
A
The
sack.
yeah. And what was the first play with his brother? He didn't handle the
The
ball. There
snap.
was a safety. So out of
The
the gate,
snap,
yeah.
yeah.
So out of the gate, this looks like Seattle from 2013.
No, here we go. It's going to be second down. Manning. Go to the middle to Mexico, and it'll be third down and 7. Third and 7 for New York. I finally got my voice back after being,
Down.
it was a stomach bug last week. It'll be 4th and 7 here. I finally got my voice back. It's cracking a little bit. There's a flag on the play. Jeff Feagles, who's kicked since Sammy Ball was in the league.
Penalty.
And there's going to be a penalty. Let's see what it is. It's offsides on Seattle. They're going to kick again. Jeff Feagles, he can punt with his walker. He is that old. This guy, remember when he was the Eagles in the mid-90s? I remember Jeff Fiegels for the Eagles. I remember that. First down and 10. Wilson will throw to Marshawn Lynch, and there he goes. Marshawn to the 45, and here comes Seattle. A first down and 10 for Seattle. And they're just going right over the field. Wilson. And the gain of 4. The gain of 3 there. It'll be 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7. Wilson to Lynch.
Third down.
It'll be 3rd and 2. 3rd down and 2. And he's short. And it'll be 4th and 2.
How about that giant defense, huh?
I know, it's bend but don't break. Bend but do not break. And it'll be 4th and 2. Oh, they're trying a long one. They are trying a long field goal. It is up, it is over, and looks good, and it is good. Steven Auschka from 53. And it is an early 3-0 lead. So high and deep. Well, New York, it's how they beat the Patriots. Bend but don't break. Come on, Brad. He gets up to the 29. 1st and 10 for New York. Manning. Nothing there. 2nd and 10. 2nd down and 10 for the Giants. In motion, they give to Brandon Jacobs. They fumble down. And it'll be New York that jumps on it. 3rd and 2. So it'll be 3rd down and 2 for New York. Manning, they give to Ward and a 1st down. And again, they're just doing the New England sort of play of use a lot of time, just play to get 1st down. Manning. It's incomplete 2nd down. And bend but don't break on defense. 2nd and 10. The blitz is on. Brandon Jacobs.
3rd down.
Gain of about 3. 3rd and 7. Halfway through the 1st. On 3rd and 7, Manning. And it's caught by Jeremy Shockey and a 1st down. Oh, Cedar just arrived in 3rd down. This is how they're going to do this today. And there's going to be a flag, and they moved. Not how you pull an upset. 1st and 15. Manning.
2nd down.
2nd down. 2nd and 15. Manning back to throw. He's going to throw, and it's cut by Amani Toomer. And Amani Toomer down to the 24. Amani Toomer, this is big, and it's 1st down and 10. This is the opening that the Giants need to pull this upset. This is exactly what they need. 1st down. And up
2nd down, out of bounds.
It'll be 2nd and 11. 2nd down and 11. Manning right down the middle, and it's incomplete.
3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 11. 3rd down and 11. Manning to throw. He'll fire it, and it's survive the 3rd down. They got to be at least 4-4 in 3rd down conversion. 1st and goal. Manning back to throw. They're going to throw. They throw. Incomplete.
2nd down.
It'll be saying, that's all right. Just take a knee the first 2 downs. You'll get it on 3rd down. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 8. Manning picks up. He's in. And it's now 6-3. And this is the opening push they need. Brandon Jacobs. This is the opening push they need. And it is 6-3. 13 plays, almost 6 minutes. And now the extra point. 9. There it is. It is up, over, and good. 1 possession each. And it is 7-3. And very big. Here's Tynes, high and deep. And it is burning season here, and I can smell all this stuff in my door. Oh, does it smell powerful? So at the quarter, during the analysis, I'm going to turn on my air filters. So it'll be 1st and 10.
Second down.
And nothing there, 2nd down. 2nd and 9. Wilson again, incomplete.
Third down.
It'll be 3rd down and 9. 3rd and 9. Wilson, they give it to Marshall, and nothing.
4th down.
4th and 6, and now they're going to kick. I believe the first one of the game. Right, blocked, and in a kick up, and he's down to the 12. This is exactly the push they need. And we said before, if New York was going to win the game, it was going to be New York with the big lead, and then Seattle couldn't get back. And it's 12. 1st and 10. Oh, how big this is. Manning will throw. It is caught, touchdown. And that is Sonoris with the score. There was Santana, Randy, and Sonoris. And Sonoris will get the touchdown. Oh, how big this is, that big play. And they are striking when the iron shot gets the point. And it is up, and it is good. 14-3. The iron is hot for them. Everybody is moving really well. And with 2:47 to go, one play, 12 yards, Mike in the truck. This is exactly what you need to pull an upset, what we talked about before the game. The big push, not necessarily by the offense, but by everybody.
Yeah, and it's special teams play is huge, and it just gave them a touchdown. New York is playing their hearts out like they did in 2007 for the Super Bowl up against everybody said a superior opponent, and you're not going to win this thing. They've still got that mentality, obviously, in this game. They're not messing around. They're throwing everything at Seattle, and right now it's working. And now the question is, can New York keep this up, and can Seattle recover?
Yeah, that's the way New York's going to win. The iron's hot right now for New York. So they got to milk this for as many points as they can. They got to be very aggressive on offense. The iron's hot. You got to do it now. Devon Hurst to the 34. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Seattle. 14-3. Wilson to throw. Caught by Baldwin. And Doug Baldwin for 13. 1st down and 10. Wilson to Lynch.
Second down.
Remember, it's been bend but don't break all day. This is their 3rd possession. The first one went down. They made the field goal. The second one was a punt, but they're bending, but they're not breaking. 2nd and 5. Wilson. And another stop. 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6. Wilson. He'll go, he'll throw, and it's caught by Golden Tate. And he'll be 1st and 10. I almost called him Lars Tate, the old Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But that's going to be it for the first quarter. The end of one, New York is pushing very hard. And they are up 14-3. But Seattle, Mike in the truck, go ahead. I'm going to start all the air filters because I can smell somebody burning season. It gets tough here. And I'm going to get a little bit. Oh, it does. I mean, the smoke
I'm not laughing at you. I want you to understand that. I'm just laughing. I know people at home can't see you, but I can see you on the camera. You've got a smile on your face like, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah, well, the thing is here, like in the States, I wasn't prepared for it. And this will only be a second because I know everybody wants to get to the game. But it's when I came here, I'm like, oh, burning season. Oh, well, I'm from Pittsburgh. People burn around us all the time, blah, 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 neighbors. No. This is almost like it gets so bad it's fog.
Wow.
And it stings your eyes, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your throat hurts, it stings your eyes. There's nothing in the States. You can see it from satellites.
Oh, good grief.
Okay. I mean, it's burning season is a legit thing. So as I go and start my air filters, I mean, it is a legit thing. So that's why my eyes are red. I didn't have one too many Singas or Chong beers. No, it's burning season. So I'll be back in a second.
All right. We're going to go over the end of the first quarter statistics. Time of possession, a little under a minute advantage for New York. And there's only been one punt in this game so far, and that was blocked, and that helped get the Giants a touchdown. Let's take a look at, 72 yards for Seattle, 91 for New York total. Each team has a penalty for 5 yards. Eli Manning is 5 for 10 for 70 yards, a touchdown, and a sack, and he was sacked on the opening play of the game. Russell Wilson, 3 for 4. He hasn't seen a whole lot of time throwing the ball. For 56 yards. Rushing, Marshawn Lynch, 7 for 16 yards, only averaging 2.3. His longest run is 5. He's done better as a receiver than a running back, if you will, when it comes to yardage. So New York is really keen on him, and they've held him. They've basically held him. Rushing for New York, Jacobs 4 for 18, 4.5 yards a carry, and a touchdown. He did fumble the ball once, but the Giants recovered. With receiving, Plexico Burress has 2 catches. Toomer, Shockey, and Moss each have 1 for Seattle. It's Lynch, Baldwin, and Tate who have the receptions, and the reception leader is actually Marshawn Lynch, as I noted. He had 1 reception, but it was for 34 yards. So that's a lot of Seattle's yards right there from him. Defensively, Malcolm Smith and Chandler have 2 tackles, while everybody else seems to have 1 for New York. Well, actually, who had the sack? Malcolm Smith had the sack on Eli Manning. For New York, Michael Strahan and Antonio Pierce each have 2 tackles. So let me go back up here. I can hear you in the background. I just couldn't hear what you said. Third downs, New York is 3 for 4, while Seattle is 1 for 3. So if Seattle is able to score, even if it's just a field goal here, they're right back in this game. Obviously, there's 3 quarters and plenty of time. There has been a fumble, but not a fumble lost, and no turnovers as of yet. And I hope I didn't just jinx somebody. Only 1 sack again, and that was Eli Manning getting sacked on the very first play of the game. Not much left to talk about, so it looks like Mike in the truck might call initially until...
Sorry about that.
You're fine. You're fine. This is live. The world is watching or listening or not.
Oh, there we go. The whole world is watching there. Sorry about that. Hey, a funny thing happened to me yesterday. I did that 1984 National Championship.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Don't tell me anything.
I won't tell
That's
you
not
anything.
spoiler.
Well, I won't spoil it, but what I will spoil is the fact that when I was finished, I went to use the restroom. Now, both of my doors to the restroom are shut, and they were always shut, and the windows are closed. And when I went in there, there was about 30 bees flying all around. And I get in there, I'm like, what in the blank? And I shut the door, and then it was nuts. I've never seen. It was like those horror movies when those bugs come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
Did you ever figure out what caused it?
I think it was the people spraying for bugs, because they spray for bugs around here. And I think that they were building a nest or something in. Because when they went into my bathroom, well, I won't tell you the state of my bathroom, but they instantly died.
Maybe we need to drop the topic at this point.
Okay. They instantly died within about 2 hours. But I set off a couple of those. What do you call those things? Not foggers, but I just held the thing down on a couple spray cans. I couldn't breathe in there. It was terrible.
Well, some people joining us and they heard you say bathroom and not being able to breathe. Now they're going to think of something else. That's why maybe we should get back to the football game.
Oh, okay. Now here we go. We're back.
If Russell Wilson's sitting there going, "Come on, Chris, I'm ready to snap the ball."
Yeah, the guy
Get
with
off
the
that
orange coat.
topic.
There's a guy with the orange coat. He's like, get off the field. Here we go. Second quarter, first and 10. Wilson down to the 35 at second and 5. This is a big possession because if they can hold them to a field goal, New York can maybe score a touchdown, go up 21-6. It'll be second and 5. Second and 5, and they moved. You can't do – well, you can if you're a New York Giants fan. But it'll be second and 10.
Third down.
Maybe a gain of 1. It'll be third and 9. Third down and 9. Wilson to throw, and it is incomplete.
Fourth down.
It's fourth down and fourth and 9, and now they're going to try a long field goal. I don't know how long, and this one is high and over. It might be good. I don't know, and it is good. 56 yards. He's kicked 2 50-yarders. That's incredible. 53 and 56.
Hang on, let me go see what his long is, just in real life, because
I believe it's 53.
I don't think it could be because this game goes off of actual stats. No, it is 53. Interesting. His long is 53 in a game of 56. Now, unless there's a typo, the long is 53 in here, but maybe the game gives it a little bit of play. Interesting. But anyway, back to our game, I guess.
He's picked 2 of them, one of 53 and one of 56. And now it's 14-6, and New York needs to keep up. High and deep. And this one will actually go short. Come on, Bradshaw. Come on to the 30. Come on to the 40. And he'll be down actually to the 39. First and 10. First and 10. 14-6, and they move. So you can't keep up when you're moving backwards. First and 10. Manning goes down. He can't get away. And it'll be second and 23. Second down and 23. Manning will throw, and it's incomplete.
Third down.
It'll be third and 23 now. A big third and 23. Back to throw. Manning. He's going to throw, and it is incomplete.
Fourth down.
And now they got a punt. Oh, there's a injury. Burris is down. He'll be back in. David Tyree, he put, for some reason, Stickum on his helmet. I don't know why, but David Tyree will come in at wide receiver. And it'll be fourth and 26. Eagles will kick. And there it is, almost 1 for 1. And block kicks. And here's Golden Tate. And Tate will be up to the 48. First down, Seattle. They need 2 yards to be in field goal range. Wilson. And they go to Baldwin.
Second down.
And
Out
yes,
of
they
bounds.
are in field goal range. Second and 4. Like Tecmo Bowl, you cross the 50, you're in field goal range. Marshawn Lynch and a first down. At 53 and 56, Plaxico Burris. He'll be back in. So Wilson, Turbin again, first down. That'll be first and 10 for Seattle. Clock is ticking here. Wilson to get Michael
Second
a
down,
couple
penalty.
yards. There's a penalty on the play, and it's going to be defensive holding and a first down. So beyond the New York 22. Wilson to Michael,
Second
nothing.
down.
And it'll be second down, Christine Michael. Second and 11. Wilson, the blitz is on. Wilson to throw, and it's incomplete.
Third down.
Third down and 11. 9.5, Wilson. He'll throw, and it is caught, but not enough. And it'll be fourth and 2.
Well, with the
And
history
now they
that
got
we've
a
seen
kick.
in this game, are they really going to kick? They might go for it here.
They might. They might. Let's see what they do. They're going to go. It's 4th and 2. And they're going to go for it. They want to just end the thing now. Michael, and he's short. This is reminding me more of Miami and Penn State in '86. In the '87 Fiesta Bowl, the '86 season, Miami was 3-1, but Penn State had the touchdowns. And Miami had the turnover on downs, the missed field goals, and the turnovers. So it'll be 1st down and 10. I remember Penn State 3 yards at one point. It'll be 2nd and 11. They lose 1. 2nd and 11. Manning, Brandon Jacobs. By Brandon Jacobs. And a 1st down for the Giants.
Brandon Jacobs running like Marshawn Lynch.
I know he is. And all of a sudden, New York is halfway through the 2nd. Manning. And it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 10. Manning, they give it to Jacobs. Nice block, and Brandon Jacobs is going. Jacobs down to the 40, to the 35, down to the 30-yard line. Jacobs down to the 26, a gain of 45. Jacobs to the right-hand side. Watch the block right there. And I think there was a fullback or somebody, but Jacobs just started to go. Brandon Jacobs, and this is, I'll tell you what, it's 14-6 now. Jacobs to the 26. This is the big play. That's the whole thing. It'll be 1st and 10. Manning to Brandon Jacobs.
2nd down.
And Jacobs got 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. 2nd and 6. Manning.
Third down.
I've been waiting all game to say that name. Reuben Drones. 3rd down and 5. Manning. Nothing. But now they're going to get the field goal that Seattle didn't get. They're going to get the field goal and be up by 3 more. Lawrence cut, maybe. Redskins, this is going to be up over, and it is good. 17-6. They get the field goal that Seattle does not get. And it's going to be high indeed. The PM rating is at 118. Healthy is 35. So it's 1st and 10. We must have got a whiff of smoke. Oh my goodness. 1st and 10. Wilson back to throw. Wilson, he's going deep, and it's caught by Golden Tate. And again, this is bend but don't break. 1st and 10, under 4 minutes. Wilson to Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch will get 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1. 2nd and 1, Wilson. They go to Michael. Michael, a 1st down.
Penalty.
Under the 40, there's a penalty. And this is a personal foul against New York. That's not good. And it'll be 1st and 10. What a terrible decision to do that. Wilson,
2nd down.
That's going to be himself. It'll be 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7. 2:25 to go. Wilson, he'll throw, and it is caught by Miller. And that's going to be Zach Miller, the tight end. And that'll be 2 minutes. 2 minutes. New York 17, Seattle 6.
2-minute warning.
And right now, New York is looking good just as long as Seattle does not get a touchdown. If Seattle gets a touchdown, it's going to start to get a little bit antsy in New York.
Yeah, it's, you get in the end zone, you got to figure they're going to go for 2 to make it a field goal game. Lick their wounds 17-14, and they have some kind of momentum if they're able to get into the end zone here. But New York has just taken advantage of every situation possible to score. They've taken advantage of block punt and some of Seattle's just whatever the situation is that if the Giants could find advantage to, they've taken advantage of it, and that's how they're winning this game. The question is, can
Well,
it hold up?
yeah, I mean it's like a dam about to break. It's like that one story of the kid in Thailand who stopped that levee with his finger in it, but it just got worse and worse. You knew it was gonna break, but he was biding time. So it's going to be first and goal. Very important move. And it is Seattle will keep the ball. There's a penalty, and they're going to accept. I don't know. I don't know if I would accept that. Maybe I decline. First and goal from the 15. It was on the 10. It would have been second and goal from the 11. Wilson through the middle, and that's Tate. So they actually lose 2 yards there. Seattle hurrying to the line. Second down and goal. Wilson, they got time to burn here. They go to Montreal right up the middle. It'll be a gigantic 3rd and 5. 3rd down and 5. Very big 3rd and 5. Maybe a quarterback draw. Wilson. Oh, he's short. He's short. And for them, they might kick a field goal here. Make it a score. Let's see. They're going for it. They are going for it. It's 4th and 1. They're on the 1. Wilson scores. And that was a gutsy call. Because if they don't make it, they would have left 6 points on the board. And Russell Wilson has scored. Probably, I don't know. They'll go for 1. No, they're going for 2. You were right.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. You got another whole half. If you do get this, it's a 3-point game.
And this is going to be big. They're from the 2. Wilson, Michael, yes. And it is 17-14. 1:08 to go. 9 plays, 75 yards. A little over 3 minutes. Seattle is still down by 3. You're getting the feeling that even though Seattle's down by 3, they're not panicking. And it'll be 1st and 10. A minute to go. Manning will throw, and it is caught by Plexico, and here he goes. Up to the 44. And out of bounds. We're down to 55. They have all 3 timeouts. Manning again.
Second down.
And they're going to call timeout here. 49 seconds. 3 timeouts. Manning, the quick throw. He's got Jeremy Shockey. Oh, that is so big. Another timeout. 41 seconds. First and Sonora spots.
Second down.
And they got more. They got to use the timeout. 34 seconds. Manning. There's a flag. And it's encroachment. It'll be a 1st down. Gives them time to think. Manning now back to throw. They throw them on
Second down. Out of bounds.
29 seconds. Even if it's in bounds, they got time. Manning incomplete.
3rd down.
Kind of a good thing that was an incompletion. 3rd and 4. Manning incomplete.
4th down.
I think he threw it away. It'll be 4th down and 4. Lawrence time. And it'll be up over, and it is good. 20-14. They go right down the field, and they get a little more of a buffer, but they really needed a touchdown there. And it's going to be high and deep. In the end of New York, though, will start out with the football. They will start out in the second half with the football. Wilson.
Second down.
And they're going to call timeout and throw a Hail Mary.
Actually, Seattle will, because if you remember, the very first play was Manning being sacked.
Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. Seattle will get it. Seattle's going to throw a Hail Mary now. Wilson. Wilson. He's going to go high and deep. And it is incomplete.
Third down.
That's it for the first half. The score, New York 20, Seattle 14. Go ahead, Mike, in the truck.
Well, time of possession, a little bit of an advantage for the Seahawks. Manning was 9 of 19, under 50%, 129 yards, a touchdown. He was sacked twice. Russell Wilson was 10 of 14, so he improved in the second quarter, 71.4%, 119 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Rushing, Lynch improved a little bit. He's still only 11 rushes for 31 yards. The Giants have really been keying on him. But then you look at Brandon Jacobs of New York, 8 rushes for 82 yards. He has exploded like Marshawn Lynch. He's got a touchdown and a 45-yard run. He did fumble the ball once, but he did not fumble it away. He recovered his own fumble. For New York, Plaxico Burress has 3 catches for 49 yards. Shockey, Toomer, and Moss each have 2 catches. So those are your receptions for New York. For Seattle, Golden Tate has 6 catches for 54 yards. Baldwin 2 for 19, and Lynch and Miller each have 1, but Lynch had that big 34-yard reception. Defensively, Chandler and Malcolm Smith have sacks for Seattle. Your tackle leader is Bobby Wagner and Bryant.
Red Bryant. He
Yeah.
was from the 1930s, right? It's probably from one of my other football leagues where it's like, whoops, we got some for like my NFL 2K5 league. Yeah, here's the 85 Bears, but I forgot to turn off trades. So in the very first week, you got Jeremiah Trotter as a linebacker, the 85 Bears. I'm like, it'll give it a little bit of interesting touch, so we'll keep it. Then I turned the trades off. So you wouldn't have Walter Payton for the 91 Saints.
Right. Unless the 91 Saints really wanted him. That would be kind of cool. Can you imagine him on that team? They already have the linebacker core, but now you've got the insane running back. Did they still have Ironhead Hayward that year?
Yeah.
91? Oh, yeah. He was a monster, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Those guys were monsters on the field.
Dalton Hilliard was good. They had Hilliard. They had Ironhead Hayward. They were the only NFC West team to break the 49ers streak of all those NFC West championships.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, they had shots of maybe making a Super Bowl, and they just never won a playoff game. Mora had never won a playoff game. When the Saints finally won a playoff game, it was 2000, and that was against the Rams. The Rams that were all offense, no defense. They would win games like 50-40. That was the Saints' first playoff win, and it was done without Mora. Kind of sad. Mora was a great coach, but once he got in the playoffs, he just never could win. It's sad.
Yeah, he was a lot like Tony Dungy. He could build a team out of nothing. But then when it went to getting that talent to the next level, he had a little bit of trouble. That's Bill Fitch just died as we kick off here. He was a guy in the NBA that made his living out of making teams horrible, really good. First, up to the 25, real quick. Bill Fitch would make them horrible to good, but he never, he went to a couple NBA finals and he won an NBA title with Boston in 81. But after that, it was just, okay, you run your course, you're done. You got to the playoffs, we get somebody else in. Same with Doug Collins. Doug Collins builds up the Bulls, and they bring in this North Dakotan, Phil Jackson from Minot, North Dakota. And, the rest is history. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Seattle, 20-14, Wilson. And Wilson will throw, and he does. It's going to be
second down,
Tate.
out of bounds.
Not Lars Tate, Golden Tate. And it'll be 2nd down and 5. 2nd and 5. Wilson marching on, and nothing.
Third down, out of bounds.
3rd and 5 as it's out of bounds. Wilson will throw, and it is caught by Baldwin. And for some reason, he turns
Out of bounds.
and goes 3 quarters to the field out of bounds. 1st down and 10, though.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1
Oh, they moved.
Second down.
Lynch,
Penalty.
that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, he moved.
And yeah, they did. So it'll be 1st and 15. Wilson. Auburn fumbles and it's down New York's. Oh, this is a big turnover. This is big. And the question is, can New York get a touchdown out of this? If they can get a touchdown, then it's going to look tough for Seattle, because it'll force Seattle to score a touchdown. Manning. And incomplete.
Second down.
Out. 2nd and 10. Manning again.
Third
Throw to
down.
Plaxico, and it'll be 3rd down and 9. It would be tough if they waste this opportunity. 3rd and 9. Manning will throw it. That's going to be a flag.
Fourth down.
Oh, they hit
Penalty.
Manning late. They hit him late. And it'll be 1st down and 10 on the Seattle 24. Oh, my goodness. So it'll be 1st down and 10. Manning to Brandon Jacobs. And
Second
Jacobs
down. Out of bounds.
get 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. Manning.
Third down.
3rd down and 5. There's the flag. Manning will get a 1st down. You got to see what that flag is. And it's offside, Seattle. New York is going to decline that. This could be very, very interesting if New York scores here.
Second down.
Nothing. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Even a field goal, but a touchdown would be kind of huge and semi-backbreaking for Seattle.
Oh, it would be 2nd down and goal.
Third down.
3rd and goal. Oh, this is such a big down. Manning, the blitz is on. He'll throw one-on-one. Touchdown to Smith. Steve Smith. I'm wondering whether it was the same Steve Smith of the Carolina Panthers days. If it was, he just got another great catch. Check that up. They're going to go for 2. Jacobs, they score. What a gutsy call. What a gutsy call, because if Seattle has timed for 4 field goals. And what a gutsy call.
Right back at them, if you will. Seattle went for the 2-point conversion to have them down by 3. And New York's like, no, we're taking that 2-point conversion back. You're down by 14.
Oh, my goodness. Well, New York's got that big lead. They've taken everything given to them, and they have succeeded there. Now the question is, can Seattle come back? And there's been, New York has led ever since it was 3-0 Seattle. New York scored to make it 7-3, and New York has led ever since. 1st down and 10. Wilson, they get to Marshawn. Right up the middle.
Second down.
It'll be a gain of 9. 2nd and 1. They got to keep the tempo going if you're Seattle. Wilson.
3rd down.
And Robert Turbin, nothing there. 3rd and 1. 3rd down and 1. Marshawn Lynch. Down up to the 42. 1st and 10. Wilson. And they'll go to Marshawn. And a 1st down and more. Here comes Lynch down to the 36. This is why the 2-point conversion is big. Because without it, it would be 4 field goals. Now it's 5. Wilson to Michael.
Second down.
5. They'll get 6 yards. 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4.
3rd down.
And 3rd down and 5. So Wilson. He's going to just run. He just planted himself. And it'll be 4th and 2. They're going for it. They are going for it. 4th and 2.
Yeah, here we go. This is the third time they've gone for it on fourth down. They're 1 for 1.
And this will be big. Michael, and Michael is stopped. Michael is stopped. O.C. Umenyo. He gets the stop.
Well,
the O-man.
Michael was stopped when they went for it from fourth down last time, and I don't know why they went with him again. They wanted to try to have him redeem himself or something, and he comes up short again.
0 for 2. That's 6 points right there. Their kicker is amazing, and that's 6 points.
Second down, out of bounds.
Is
But
Pete
just
Carroll
think
doing
about
a Pete Carroll from 2014? I feel bad if that's what's going on here.
They kick those 2 field goals, and it's a 1-score game. It'll be 2nd and 10. Manning to Jacob.
Third down.
You know, Belichick has an aggressive Patriots team that fits in his play calling. Not so much as Seattle. 3rd and 5. Manning. They go to Brandon Jacobs. And they are running over this Legion of Boom, which is very shocking. And a 1st down and 10.
Second down.
1. So it'll be 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9.
Third down.
And it'll be 3rd and 5. 30 seconds to go. 3rd and 5. Manning to Jacobs. 1st down. Not only is this going to end the 3rd quarter, it'll be a fresh set of downs for the 4th quarter. They could take 3 minutes off the clock and get another point, make it 3 scores. New York, if they lose this game, it'll be turnovers. It
Or
has
just
to
bad
be.
play calling. But that's how Seattle's not, at least not, they don't winning or losing. That's how they're not in it right now. I mean, I don't disagree necessarily with 4th down calls, but I mean, we're going for it on 4th down, but the play calls that they did were Pete Carroll-ish, and it's costing them.
Wait, Jared. Well, hold on a second. Jared Lorenzen, he was that guy from Kentucky, wasn't he? The really big quarterback?
I honestly don't remember.
I'll have to look that up. Tavares Jackson, that's Baltimore. No, that can't be the same guy, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, wow. Okay. You know, I heard a trivia question. Name the only starting quarterback to win 2 or more Super Bowls and not be in the Hall of Fame.
Earl Morrall?
Not Earl Morrall. Not Earl Morrall.
Just start 2 Super Bowls and not be. Plunkett.
Yeah, Jim Plunkett. Yeah.
Plunkett. Yeah. I mean, and that's. I don't understand that. I mean, he was an MVP in one of them. To be honest with you, should have got blanked out in the defense. I'm not criticizing Plunkett when I say that, but the defensive player on the Philly game who had the 3 picks, I blanked out on his name.
Rod Martin.
Yeah, he should have been the MVP, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not knocking Plunkett because he had a great game, and even I remember seeing an old NFL film with Dick Vermeil on the sideline. He just said after they scored, it's like, Plunkett's tearing us apart. He was. But, yeah, Rod Martin, I mean, he should have been the player of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And, all right, so it's going to be the Giants 28, Seattle 14.
And since you're talking about these travesties about people not being in the Hall of Fame, what was it, last year that Tom Flores finally got in? He was way overdue as a coach. Way overdue.
Oh, yeah. And Drew Pearson.
There's another one. There's another one.
Yeah, he was number 1 in all 1970s. And Tom Flores, my whole thing is this. The Hall of Fame used to be, and I really feel for the older generation, because the Hall of Fame was built for the best of the best of the best. The Hall of Fame was not supposed to have many people in it. And now they're letting a lot of people in it. And I'm sorry, Jimmy Johnson had a good spurt, but if you're going to give the Hall of Fame on 3 to 5 years, people like LaDainian Tomlinson should be in, right? The people that only had 3 to 5 years as a running back should be in, or whatever. But you give Jimmy Johnson a nod for the Hall of Fame. Yes, he won 2 Super Bowls, and he did a great job. He only coached 6 years. And then when he was in Miami, he was terrible.
Yeah. Well, you know what's going to be interesting is Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger are now going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame in the same year. Both of them should be no-brainers. They're both in. And that's, it's good, and I would be stunned if they're not both in at the same year. You can't give it to one and not give it to the other. I don't care that these two greats retired at the same time. Can you imagine if it would be funny if they did a joint speech, but anyway, we digress. Let's get back to the game and see if the Giants can eat up the clock.
It'd be funny if Roethlisberger started to speak, and then Brady just interrupted him and did his speech. Because Brady always beat Roethlisberger, and
in the playoffs,
when Roethlisberger retired, it was like 2 days later they go, "Hey, Brady retired." He didn't even get to say, "Give me a week where people can talk about me." It was just Roethlisberger, "I'm leaving the game." "Oh, that's great. Wait a second. Brady retired. Oh, we got to worry about that more." And he's probably like, "Oh, God, one up by Brady again."
Well, but you also have to note that there was a whole big lead up to Roethlisberger, too. There wasn't a lead up like this for Brady. Because everybody figured the rumors, and he was like, "Yeah, this is probably it," and then he confirmed it. So, I mean, there was a bigger lead up because people figured Brady could be in it for another couple of years because he was still playing great.
But Brady didn't want that. He said himself he didn't want a farewell tour. He just wanted it just ended.
Yeah.
You already had a Super Bowls. Why do you need a farewell tour?
Nah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see if Eli can play clock management and just eat up as much clock. Even get a field goal. You're probably going to put this thing away.
Yeah, probably. They would love a 5-minute drive to make it 3 scores. And Ward.
Second down, out of
bounds. Get 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. Stocky in a 1st down. They're just keeping that butter churning. Making me hungry. 1st down and 10. Manning loses 1. He loses 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12. Manning.
3rd down.
And a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 10. So 3rd and 10, Manning. Back to throw. He throws, and it is incomplete.
Down.
It'll be 4th and 10, and now they got a catch. Lawrence Tynes, this is to make it. This is 37. Now they got to kick it twice. Lorenzen will hold. This is good, but they move. So now they got to do it again. It'll be 52 now. So this will be, now they got a punt. That took 3 points away. And then it's the kick. They're going to try and pin them deep, and they do at the 4-yard line. But they don't get the 3 points. We got to remember that. It's still plausible now. 1st and 10.
Do you smell a safety? That's almost as good as 3 points.
You know what? I'm gonna one up you. I smell a 96-yard score. I just have that feeling.
2nd down.
And I was horribly wrong.
Now you've got 93 more yards, but you're not. It's not impossible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna box my prediction. This is 1st down.
3rd down. Penalty.
So it's gonna have to. There's a penalty here.
I'm kind of surprised I'm surprised they're going with these little short passes.
Yeah. And New York, if New York's going to help them out and just club people in the face, then that's one thing. So Wilson, it'll be a 1st down to take. They don't have to hurry. They have plenty of time. for Seattle. New York has to realize that Seattle is not going to run out of time. Wilson to throw. He's pressing. He's got a first down to take.
You know, they could get right back in this game if they score and they score quick.
Yeah, I could see them scoring at the 6-minute mark. First and 10. Wilson.
Second down.
Jack Miller. And he gained 5. It'll be second down and 5. The Lynch.
Third down.
Short,
Out of bounds.
3rd and 7.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this, if there's one thing that's been done right all day is the Giants containing Marshawn Lynch. They have just contained him big time. And Jacobs from New York is the one running like Marshawn Lynch right now.
He is, and that's very surprising. 3rd and 7. Marshawn gets 1. It'll be 4th and 5, and now they gotta do something. They might go for it. No, they're gonna punt. They're gonna have to play with the clock a little bit. It'll be high and deep. If it goes inside the 10, maybe. Oh, to the 2. Now I'm thinking safety.
I was just about to say, what, that would be a safe. I mean, there's a bigger chance here because they're a little farther back than Seattle was.
Yeah, and this is going to be predictable. We all know it's going to Warder Jacobs. Like, we all know where it's going. So this is going to be very predictable here. But it's going to be first down. They go to a flea flicker. Might have caught me off guard. And it's incomplete.
Second down.
Boy, was that risky because you're doing that in the backfield. You're doing that in the end zone. You know, you have a bad flea flicker pass back and forth. You just gave up 2 points. That's super risky.
Oh, it was. It would have caught my defense if I were coaching defense off guard. 2nd and 10. That might have been a 98-yard score. Under 8 minutes. And there he goes. He goes down. This is kind of crazy because we were thinking a safety as in they were going to hand it off. They were going to read it. They threw the ball twice. One was a flea flicker and one was a sack. So now they got a kick. This is going to be very interesting. Though Seattle will not get 4 field goals. There's just not enough time. And here's Javon Curse. Javon to the 31, to the 32. 1st and 10. Wilson, and it is incomplete.
Second down.
It'll be second now. Seattle trying to come back. They got a difference. 2 touchdowns, and they now win.
Down.
It'll be 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10. Wilson. He's going to throw, and it is incomplete. 3 in a row. And now they got a kick to New York.
Maybe they go for it. Who knows at this point?
Here's Ryan. I'm thinking it might be a little early on that. New York is not doing very well, and down to the 24. And 27, sorry. What was I looking at? First down, Manning. Thrown to first down.
Wow, what a run.
How big that was. That's like taking a minute. And that's Plexico, and that's a first down. If they get a field goal, it's not over. Seattle just needs a 2-point conversion. First down.
Second down.
It'll be 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Hearing a magical bar.
3rd down.
3rd down and 10. Manning.
4th down.
Not enough. And now they're going to try and punt. Then there's a flag. And let's see what happens here.
Penalty.
A fair catch. And it is offside. So now they're going to kick it again. Here it is, Feagles. And what a punt down to the 7-yard line.
The veteran punter did his job.
He was kicking before they invented shoes. So it was 1st and 10. Wilson, that's going to be a flag. They move him back. 3:45 to go. Wilson again. Wilson, incomplete.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 13.
3rd down.
I'm surprised
They
they're
get
doing these
some-
little dink passes. They got under 4 minutes, and they're down by 2 scores. They got to hurry up.
They got to. They are right there. Wilson again, and it is caught by Curson, a 1st down. They're trying to hit his team. Not to the 36. They got to hurry. 2:58 to go. Wilson again. They go to Zach Miller.
2nd down.
Still in play. He did not get out of bounds. They got to hurry it up. They need 2 touchdowns. A field goal does no good. Up to midfield. There's a penalty. And it's holding, and they move them back. Oh, how tough that is. Wilson, and it is incomplete.
3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 14. 2:23 to go. Wilson and Michael, and they got to go for it.
4th down. Out of bounds.
4th and 9. 4th and 9, this could be the ticket.
Now, this is the 4th down. Here they are going for it on 4th down again, but no one is questioning them going for it. No
Yeah, I know.
one.
Just imagine if they had 6 points from those field goals. It would be 28-22. They could punt right now. But it's 4th and 9. Wilson, and it is Golden Tate. They got to hurry it up. I don't think that they'll be able to do it, and they won't. And it'll be
2-minute
the 2-minute
warning.
warning. Well, they're at the 45 right now. Oh, it's coming down to an onside kick.
Yeah, not impossible. Still unlikely, but not impossible. Look at the completion percentage. Look at this. Eli Manning is 13 of 26. All right, 50%. Russell Wilson's 23 of 32 at 70, just under 72%. And they're losing by 2 scores.
Yeah, those dink passes, as you say, the penalties.
Yeah. And some of the calls and some of the play calls. Not going for it on, not the fact they went on a 4th down, but the play call they did and who they used. They didn't use Marshawn Lynch. I mean, I'm surprised. And Seattle's winning with total yards. The Giants have, I think part of the difference is the Giants taking advantage of every little thing that there is. They've taken advantage of everything. And they're actually beating Seattle with their running game. They've stuffed Marshawn Lynch. I think those 2 factors are how New York is winning this game.
They are right now. We got 2 minutes to go. 28-16. New York trying to hold on, kind of like we both predicted at the very beginning of this game, where New York would have to have a big lead and Seattle would be coming back. Wilson, and it is incomplete.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. Big 2nd and 10. They got motion. Wilson again will throw, and it is incomplete.
3rd down. Injury.
We're under the warning. There's an injury. Wilson is down. His hamstring is hurt. Tavares Jackson, he might pull a Craig Morton.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Careful what you wish for, New York, because watch something happen. Now, remember, this is 2-down territory. He's got 2 shots to get the 1st down.
And they got to get it here. 3rd down, they got all 3 timeouts. If they can get it here, Jackson, and caught Golden Tate out of bounds.
Here it comes.
If they go down the field, they don't need the onside kick. 1st and 10. Jackson. Jackson again, Jackson. And it's got Zach Miller. Miller on the run down to the 11-yard line. They got to hurry it up. And they got to hurry it up. They got 120, 119, 118. Jackson again. Jackson, incomplete, second down. Field goals don't help.
Hang on 1 second, Chris. I got to take care of something. Just
Sure.
1 second. Sorry.
For those of you who are just joining in, it is New York 28, Seattle 16. New York was down 3-0, had a 14-3 lead. It was 14-10, 21-10. Oh, we'll see in the highlights. And New York has basically held a buffer the whole time. Oh, how big it was. Or it is. The biggest thing is Seattle had twice when they went for it on 4th downs in field goal range, in good, solid field goal range. Not like they went for it and it'd be 56 yards. No, we're talking about 40s. They get both of those field goals. It's 28-22, and we are going
Sorry for the
to
delay.
a lead.
Sorry for the delay. My wife left, so the kids are outside playing, and one of them needed help. So my apologies for the delay. But we now return you to a potentially very dramatic moment. Chris, I hand it back off to you.
All right. Well, maybe get one of your kids in and give advice to Pete Carroll on play calling.
At
So
this
it'll
point,
be-
they'd probably make a better call.
They would. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Oh, this is so big. 1:15 to go.
And give Jackson credit. He's come in and he's playing like a veteran. He's playing like a Super Bowl quarterback. Credit where credit's due, regardless of how this goes.
He is 2nd down and 10. Jackson to throw and incomplete. It'll be third down. There's a penalty, and it's an illegal block. So it's going to push him back to the 21. They can get a first down on a 1-yard line. But they need a big one here. Jackson. They go to Marshawn and out of bounds at the 13.
Out of bounds.
At the 14, 3rd and 13. They got to go for it twice. Russell Wilson is back in.
Now I question, do you want him back in? Because Tavarius Jackson's doing pretty good.
So 3rd down and 13. Wilson to throw, and he's got Lynch. That's what they needed to do. 4th and 6. They got to hurry it up.
Or 4th and 7, and you get in the end zone.
Big. Oh, they used the timeout. That was a mistake. That was an absolute mistake. 4th and 6. Wilson lands and scored, and this game is over. It's all over now.
Wow. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at. I'm sorry, this game was Pete Carroll. It was. It was Pete Carroll. It was 2014 Pete Carroll. The whole game.
Yeah, it was. And now they're going to take Rainey. They got to be careful because the end zone. They got to be careful of that. Seattle will use 2 timeouts. They got to run the football.
3rd down.
They got to be careful on that last one. If they get a safety, they'll take a knee here.
4th down.
And that could be it. It is. It's it. It's over. If that would have been a safety, it would be 28-18, and then a field goal gets in. New York will win. They got up big, and Seattle couldn't come behind. What Mike in the truck and I were saying earlier comes true. Seattle, New York gets the intangibles to get up big, and Seattle couldn't come back. As you can see, Eli, I don't think they threw a pass in the 4th quarter.
He didn't
did
have
not
to.
throw one pass.
He didn't have to. And it's just, why? I mean, you've got a great running game that Seattle's having problems with. This was a combination of, I'm looking at this thinking, the Giants played like they did in the Super Bowl. They played basically mistake-free football. They did have a fumble by Jacobs, but he recovered it. They played mistake-free football. They played suffocating defense. They stuffed Marshawn Lynch. That, in concert with Pete Carroll play calling, cost them, helped the Giants win. That's how they won. I don't think that. I mean, would you agree with that analogy? I mean, I think that's how New York won this game.
I would. One of the things, and I think this is addresses another point with simulation sports, is the fact that I hate it when people take a look at regular season records and go, "Oh, well, this team did this, and this isn't realistic because they're like 4-12." And no, because when you do sims like this, coaching doesn't doesn't mimic the coaching. It doesn't mimic a lot of intangibles.
Well, I
This is
mean, what's
just
programmed
based.
in here, and this is what Kerry Batts did for
Yes.
programming. The monitors talked to him and said, "Look, to make it realistic, because he was limited to what he could do. You know, he
Yeah.
was like trying to finish up. I think this was 2021. He was trying to finish up the game for the 2021 version, and we suggested, can you do this, that, and the other? And then we'll look at research the teams and tell them that their tendencies are this, that, and the other. So if you've got like the '86 Giants, where Mark Bavaro is the receiver, who's the tight end that's used the most, Sims will try to throw to him more than anybody else, as examples.
Yeah.
Things like that, coaching styles, how often they ran, how often they threw, who they threw to, what kind of defense they had. Was it a 3-4? Was it a 4-3? Did they blitz a lot? Stuff like that. And the programmer did put that in the game. So we're able to do that. The rest is the engine. And I know one thing, you've seen teams go for it a little more in the 2022 version on fourth down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He added that into the game to make everybody a little more aggressive. But there are settings like there's conservative, there's balance, and there's gambler. So I have somebody when I made like the '99 Rams, I have that offense as a gambler. They're going for it. They're
Oh, yeah.
throwing the ball. They're just going all out. But somebody like Chuck Noll's Steelers, nah, fourth down and inches, they're probably going to punt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, but still, you'll never ever get it perfect.
Exactly. Exactly. But I was gonna say this thing actually kind of nailed the Pete Carroll type.
It did, it
It
did,
nailed it.
which was
I was gonna
sad,
say,
which was
you know,
sad because again the fourth downs that they went for, you could understand it, but the play calls on fourth downs were like, what are you doing? And some
yeah,
of the run plays were fine, but you didn't give it to Marshawn Lynch.
yeah.
Why? He'll
But
get you
that's
that
what
extra
Pete Carroll
yard.
did. That's what Pete Carroll did in the Super Bowl the year later. So, so
Wow.
New York wins 28-16. I think we kind of beat this game to death a little bit. The next one, the next time we do this will be the '01 New England Patriots against the '96. That is going to be, I think,
Wow.
an
Tom
underrated
Brady
game.
against Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Wow. Tom Brady against Brett Favre. That should be it. Now, this was the first year they made the Super Bowl and won it, and with Brady. And statistically, I'll be honest with you, they're not that great. Statistically, the Patriots, the Packers
Oh, they got
are. The
outgained
Packers
every.
are. But, this is also a rating-based team. So the Patriots are built a little bit tougher than some of their statistics. So people going, what are you talking about? Because if you sim that 0-1, if it's just straight numbers, Green Bay is going to blow them out 99 out of 100 times. And that 100th time, the Green Bay might win at a squeaker. I mean, it's not realistic. So, but it's still Tom Brady. And let's put it this way: the way it's built, it's Tom Brady. So, I mean, they're going to be an underdog going into that, but they are by no means out of it. I mean, it's still very possible. But the Packers I think they had the best offense, the best defense, and the best special teams in the league, which is just like an insane statistic. So, and I would actually argue the 97 team was better than the 96 team that won the Super Bowl, just by physically looking at it. But that's just me. Um,
Yeah, the '96 Patriots were a solid football team, but they weren't. They weren't.
no,
They were still missing a few pieces. If they
no,
were in
I
the
was I
NFC,
was referring
they'd be
to
10 and
I
6.
was referring to Green Bay. I thought they were better '97 when they won. I mean, when they lost to Denver than they were '96 when they
Yeah,
beat New
that's what
England.
I meant.
Right.
The path they took, they beat a lot of really good NFC teams, but I just think that they beat. I think the Denver team was much better than the New England team.
It
So
was. It
when
was.
that yeah when that Packer team, because you see the Denver team was just starting to gel in that Super Bowl, and then the next season they gelled, and oh yeah they gelled, and they just blew out the Falcons. But this game, I think. I like the now if this is one of those Joe Gibbs Joe Gibbs really overachieved with teams. Like he really built some great teams, but he won, I think, with teams where only Joe Gibbs could have won as a coach. He was that good. He was that good of a coach. Now they had some great talent, and they had one of the best offensive lines, and they had a good, solid defense, but the quarterbacks they won with, it was in '82 Joe Theismann. He was good. He was a solid
He
quarterback.
was. He was, and you know what? Between of all three quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl, Theismann, Williams, and Rippon,
Yeah,
um, I think that Theismann was the better individually of the three. He did go to back-to-back Super Bowls, um, which is an accomplishment by itself. And Joe Gibbs actually said that he thought that the '83 team, the year they lost to the Raiders, was the
yeah.
best squad that he coached. Better than '91. He said he thought that was his best squad. But when you look at this, uh, the one thing I say about the 49ers, and I'll say it again, even with this team, yes, they have a great defense on paper, but they're even better. I mean, that's something John Elway said in '89. Everyone talks about how great the offense was with Joe Montana in '89 in the Super Bowl. He said, but no one was talking about their defense. Their defense is what beat us badly. Their defense is so underrated. And I still think that's the case with '94. I think, and then, now don't forget, you've got Deion Sanders playing in this game for San Francisco, and he's going to be all over the map. With Washington, uh, the number one defense that year was the team they played in the Super Bowl, the Miami Dolphins. But Washington did have one of the best defenses in the league. So, and I think that they're going to show it. But you're going to come. I look at this, to be honest with you. It's going to come down to Steve Young. If he
Yeah,
plays Steve Young football, San Francisco wins this and could win it big. That's just my take. I think if Washington's able to contain Steve Young enough, they have a shot.
I agree. One of the things people forget about is that Miami Dolphin team of '82 with that number one defense. They had that defense when Marino was in '84. That's how good the '84 49ers were when they shredded that Miami team and they stopped Marino. And the way they did, the game was bigger than 38-16. I watched that first half. That was just a fluke how Miami scored to make it 28-16. I think they missed the extra point.
No, they,
I
they,
mean
they
that
had a touchdown and then they kicked three field goals. They were losing um, uh, 28-13, and then San Francisco had a
okay.
turnover late, and Miami was in great field position. They couldn't do anything, so they kicked the field goal, and that was the
Yeah.
last score that they had in that game. They didn't score in the second half, so
Yeah.
it was
I
28-16 at the half, San Francisco, and they had already won the game at that point.
It just shows you how good that '84 team was. So because Miami, that was probably the most complete team Marino ever played on. They had a solid running game. They had a great defense that carried them to Super Bowl 2 years
Yeah, I
before.
don't think their
They,
defense was to the cal. Now, if you had that defense from '82, I'm not criticizing, but I think if you had the defense from '82 with that offense of '84, that maybe they would have had a better shot. But this is Joe Montana we're talking about, and that was, people argue between '84 and '89. Um, Joe Montana, I saw him asked about this. Which team does he think was better? He said that the '89 team, better numbers and, had bigger names on it, was more flashy and all that. He said, but to be honest with you, I got to give a nod to the '84 team. I think that we were a little
yeah,
bit better in '84. And I think he's right. That was my take on it, too. And actually, with the NFL 100, it's funny. The 84 49ers are listed as number 4 all time, and the 89 49ers are listed as number 5. They're back to back, and that's the order the NFL included it as too. But here, the 90, this is Steve Young. We didn't get off of Joe Montana here because this was Steve Young's Super Bowl appearance where he started and just tore everybody to shreds. So let's talk about Steve Young. And that was his best year. He threw 70% of his passes complete and just could not be stopped. Once they started, they had an initial funk early on, but once they got over that, they never lost again. And they just destroyed everybody to the point where it wasn't even fair. They are playing at home. They're playing in San Francisco, and they're a 7-point favorite with an over under 40. I would take the over, just because of San Francisco. I think Washington's going to put up a bunch of points too, but I think San Francisco probably wins this by 2 touchdowns.
I think it's going to be one of the best games we have in a round. I'm going to take that angle. I think this is going to be a back and forth insane game. I honestly think, because when I look at the stats and the numbers and everything like that, it's not too far off. Now, I can see Steve Young getting hot and them getting a big lead, but I don't know. I just see this as going to be one heck of a game. I just see this is going to be a heck of a game. I can see I can see Washington coming out of the gate, going right down the field in 5 or 6 plays. Now, Steve Young, he can always go down in 5 or 6 plays. If they do it right, this game could be in the 30s for both teams. If they really do it right, this game can be in the 40s for both teams. They just have the necessary people to do it. The only thing I think it might come down to is field goal kicking. You know, when you have some great offensive, 3 missed field goals. I think Mosley's their kicker. If they
Mosley is their kicker, and here's something that people don't realize. He only missed 1 field goal in the regular season, and he was the league MVP. But here's the Achilles heel, and people are going to hear this go, wait, what? He didn't kick 90%. I think it was 89 of his extra points. He actually missed several extra points, which is a bizarre fact, but he actually missed a bunch of extra points. So don't be surprised if Washington scores and then they miss the extra point and it's 6-0. We could literally see something like that.
Or 35-34.
Possibly. Oh. Possibly. And watch it be Mosley that costs them the game, which is a bizarre thing to say.
Well, we're about ready to go. This is what a day. What a day so far. Commercial Stick Park, as Chris Berman used to call it, because it changed names. But it's Candlestick back in 94. So I think that was before it was Newcomb Park. And Dexter Carter will take a knee. 1st and 10. And Steve Young, he's going to throw. We all know that. And it's going to be incomplete.
Second down. Injury.
Second down and 10. There's an injury. Dexter Manley is down. And Tony McGee is coming in. And that's a big loss. Second down. Ricky Waters.
Third down.
3rd and 7. 3rd down and 7. Young to throw, and it's incomplete.
4th down.
It'll be 4th down and 7. Wow. And now they're going to have to punt.
Young is 0 for 2. That's a little bit of a surprise.
And it's big. Though San Francisco, Wilmsmeyer. Oh, you got to love that. High and deep, and this one will be... okay, Nicky G will return it to Giaquinto.
Correct.
Makes sense. Hey, there it is, Giaquinto. I just saw the letter combination. I'm like, wait a second here. So it'll be 1st down and 10. Guys, then he's got Washington. Washington running for Washington.
Second down.
And it'll be a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. In motion, Theismann to throw. Theismann, he's going deeper, and it's incomplete.
Third down.
Looked like he was hit, and it's going to be 3rd and 7. Tim McDonald, Dexter Manley will be in. He didn't miss too much. 3rd and 7. Theismann, a quick throw, incomplete.
Fourth down.
And this is the direct opposite of the last game. I thought the last game was going to be like this, but it's 4th and 7. Many times in an offensive game, you'll see the first quarter's like sleepwalking, 3-0, and the game will end 40-37. First down and 10. Second down. And a couple yards, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Did you notice we haven't seen John Riggins in the backfield, and that they each, even though they handed off once to Washington, they're gearing up for a passing game. They're gearing up to throw the ball against San Francisco.
That would be big. That'd be very big. I think they're an underrated passing team. The Redskins with 2nd and 8. Young, Waters.
Third down.
Have a few. It's weird because San Francisco's running, and you know Washington's going to pass. 3rd down. Young might run this. Young, and remember Derek LaVelle? Derek LaVelle, the Denver Broncos. Remember him? And I'm like, hey, I've seen this guy before. He's like those actors that you see in those movies, like Ned Beatty. You're like, who's Ned Beatty? And then you're like, oh, wait, I've seen him in all these movies.
Yeah.
Never a main guy, but you see him all around.
Well, another thing, that was kind of like a design trick play, but Washington saw right through it and was all over that.
So it'll be 4th and 1, and Wilmsmeyer will catch. There it is, high and deep. A nice punt. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. And Nelms with a fair catch, 59 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 at their own 9.
First play with Riggins in the lineup.
This could be big. John Riggins. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Riggins out of the University of Kansas and the New York Jets. And it's
Third down.
3rd down. Well, this game is very ugly in offense, and Theismann, they can't complete anything.
Well, neither team can do anything. Both their defenses are just completely containing them.
Oh, yeah. It's 4th and 10. Hayes the catch. And not the greatest in the world. That's to the 39. 1st and 10. Floyd.
2nd down. Out of bounds.
And that's William Floyd out of Florida State, I think.
For a second, I thought that might have been a halfback pass option.
I thought so. He was running a little bit crazy. But it's 2nd and 13. Young. Back to throw. He'll throw to Jerry Rice.
3rd down.
And they got field goal yardage here. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, if you want a guarantee of catching a pass, they threw it to the right person.
He's rated 9s everywhere. 3rd and 4.
Fourth down.
And it'll be 4th and 2. Let's see if they go for it. They will not. Doug Bryan, coin flip. Elvis Gerback from Michigan, and he misses it to the left. Why is it some of the greatest teams of all time can't get a kicker? You wonder about that. And it'll be 1st down for Washington. Theismann. And they run it to Washington. It'll be 2nd and 5. They're doing the outside running game.
3rd down.
Charlie Brown running away from Snoopy.
Hey, hang
You
on
should
one
make
second.
him a kicker.
Chris, hang on 1 second again. I'll be right back, okay? If you want to talk about what's been going on in the game, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, it's 0-0. Okay, I'm out of material. All right, so it's 0-0. Everybody's been punting right now. The biggest thing is throughout this game, it is just that they are, sorry about this, it's 11:25 at night. I'm in Thailand, and I'm just taking a break here. It's 3rd and 3. But right now, Washington and San Francisco, they can't do anything. The first game flew by because it was always pass, and completion. Here, nobody's doing a thing.
Yeah, nobody is doing a thing. It's all defense, no offense, which is kind of surprising. I expected to have both defenses do well, but this is literally all defense, no offense, with 2 great offensive squads.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3. Maybe it's the sleepwalking. Remember we said before, 3-0 game turned into 41-0. Real quick, Washington. And that's a first down, but there's a penalty, and it is offensive holding. What a way to ruin a drive. 3rd down and 13. Heisman. And it is incomplete.
4th down.
I think the huts for this, or the hikes, are actually Joe Heisman. And Haynes. High and deep. This will be to the near side. And out of bounds at the 24. First down for San Francisco. Young.
2nd down.
And it'll be 2nd and 7. 2nd down and 7. Young. Back to throw. He's going to throw and
3rd
incomplete.
down.
3rd down and 7.
I'm going to say this early on because I know that I've said this in the past with some other games. Does anybody want to win this game?
Well, obviously now I don't think they do. 3rd and 7. Young and Singleton is short. So it'll be 4th and 1, and now they're going to catch. Whenever I'm talking, oh, what a terrible kick. What a horrible kick, only 23 yards.
He pulled to Jeff Hayes, who's the punter for Washington, who doesn't average 40 yards. Yeah.
Oh.
Both of them, both punters are. Nobody's doing very good in this game today, except their defenses.
Oh, this is terrible. It'll be 1st down and 10. Heisman. Oh,
2nd
God.
down.
2nd down. I thought the New York-Seattle game was going to be this
3rd
game.
down.
I thought New York-Seattle was going to be this game, and this game was going to be New York-Seattle. It'll be 3rd and 10. Heisman. Heisman back to throw.
4th down.
And now they're going to kick 4th and 3. They're doing just enough to run the clock out, but nothing else. It'll be to the 10. 1st and 10. Young, the water.
2nd down.
There have been some really fun 0-0 games to do. This is not one of them. 2nd down. Young, the water.
3rd down.
3rd down. 3rd and 4.
4th down.
4th down and 1. People often ask, oh, how did they like football when it was always 0-0, this and that? It was exciting. They moved the ball up and down. And that's not happening here. Klaus Wilmsmeyer, another bad kick. 1st and 10, Heisman. And they did.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 8. They got Riggins. They give to Riggins.
3rd down.
The former New York Jet. It'll be 3rd and 4. Heisman. Now they go. Now they got to kick it away. At the end of the first quarter, oh, the fake! And they don't get it, Joe Washington. Oh my goodness, they snapped it. It was 30 seconds, they run a play. It's down to 24, and then neither team gets a first down. This is 1921 football at its best. No, I don't want to bash 1921 football. They got first downs back then. This is, oh my God, we're on pace for 32 punts.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is insanity. I mean, I give credit for Joe Gibbs for making the play call because somebody has to break the ice. It just didn't work. I mean, it pitched to Washington. I mean, snap it right to Washington, who's got speed, but San Francisco was all over that. And to be honest with you, I don't know how many yards that was, but punt, a return that San Francisco could be in the ballpark of that place, right, of that, area of the field right then and there. Maybe not as good, but this game is ridiculous. I mean, look at this. 2 for 9 for Washington and 2 for 5 for San Francisco throwing the ball. Nobody can do anything. Both offenses are stagnant. Their defenses are just stopping everything. Both defenses. I mean, this is crazy. Theismann's 2 for 9 for 9 yards throwing the ball, and Steve Young is 2 for 5 for 15 yards. I mean, nobody can do anything in this game today. The other game we had was definitely more entertaining and had people moving up and down the field. But not here. I mean, Ricky Waters is your rushing leader. Nobody could do anything in this game. Not a thing. Charlie Brown has 2 catches. That's it for Washington. San Francisco has Rice and Singleton each with a catch. That's it. It's just nobody is able to do anything, and I'm hoping one of these teams just breaks the ice and then they both explode. Something's got to happen because otherwise somebody's going to win this game 3-0, or the way things are going 2-0.
yeah, or they'll find out how to make it 1-0. Hey, wait a second. Didn't they just fake punt on 4th down?
They did. Interesting.
Whoa, we got now it's wait a second. This game has a Colorado 5th down on it. They fake punt, but they got it. Here's the thing. I don't think that play, because it said 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden it said 24. So I'm like, all right, that's the end of the first quarter.
But was that?
And then that
was 4th down. Yeah.
That was 4th down, and then they went for it, but they shouldn't. And then remember, it was a run, so the quarter ended.
So let's go to the let's go to the first quarter. Let me see what it says. This could be a bug in the game we found. Let's see. We'll let them know. What was it down?
Yeah, it
was
register.
3rd and 4th, and then 4th down.
It didn't register as
It didn't
a play.
register. Interesting. Well,
I wondered it was
you know what it
weird
registered
because
as?
it ended.
It registered. We saw the fake, but it's
I
registered.
hope we did.
Yeah, and that's second quarter, first quarter, second quarter.
What the heck is in this Thai water I got here?
I don't know.
That's great. I need more of it.
We'll mention this to Carrie. So I guess this is what would have happened if they didn't fake. Now we were talking about a 2-0 game. Looks like we might have one.
Yeah, I think the punt might have been the best option. It's to the 2-yard line. First down for Young. And the blitz is
2nd down.
gain of 1.
Okay, well, they gave him a little bit of breathing room.
It'll be 2nd down and 8. What a crazy game. Waters, they got the first down of the day. This is the first down of the game. And it'll be 1st down and 10. You're on mute.
That's the first play of the game. I mean, the biggest play of the game at this point. Ricky Waters with the 14-yard run. That's the biggest play of the game.
It is the first down of the game for either team. It'll be 1st down, Young to Lovell.
2nd down.
And the journeyman gets nothing, 2nd down. He doesn't know about the life ahead of him. And Young, that's going to be a penalty. And it'll be 2nd and 15. 2nd and 15. Young They'll throw to Ricky Waters. Waters again. Waters, and he's out of
Third
bounds.
down. Out of
A
bounds.
yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1. They go to Floyd. A first down. And here come the 49ers now. It'll be a first down and 10 on their own 2.
Can we just
and they're out to the 39.
Can we just ignore the first quarter? This is the way the game you figured would have started.
Yeah. Yeah, we did ignore the first quarter. They fake punted and we said the heck with it. We're not counting that. Waters. And
Second down. Out of bounds.
2nd and 7. So it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Young. Young to throw. Young looking. He's going deep.
Third down.
3rd down and 7. So 3rd down and 7, Young. And he got Taylor a yard short. But they get to midfield, and now they flip the script. Now they got to pin him in. Wilmsmeyer and high and deep. And this one will be returnable. And now it's actually to the 8-yard line. So first down, Washington. As they flip the script, Washington does not have a first down.
Now here's a bad play, and it could be 2-0 San Francisco.
It could, and right now that would seem like 22-0. Theismann.
Second down. Out of bounds.
2nd and 6, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, Theismann to Washington. And it is Washington, though. As Washington runs for Washington, Washington recovered Washington's fumble.
Try saying that fast 10 times.
Oh, yeah. 3rd down and 3. Theismann. He's going to run, and it gets down for Washington. And Washington Redskins are now going to have a first down.
You know, Steve Young is known for being a scrambler, and he was. Theismann wasn't normally known for scrambling, but when he had to take off, he could run like Steve Young. He could get yards.
Oh, yeah, when you think your life is going to end, you're going to run fast. First down and 10. Theismann. No pump and incomplete.
Second down.
And that's the game that we know. 2nd down and 10. Theismann, they're going to motion. Theismann again.
3rd down.
Nothing there. It'll be 3rd down and 10. They need another first down. If so, they can flip the script again.
4th down. Penalty.
He's going to be short. There's a penalty, and it is offsetting. They're going to do it again. 3rd and 10. Theismann. There he goes.
Down.
Oh my, it'll be 4th and 18, and now they got a kick.
From the goal line.
He's high and deep. Not much.
Penalty.
Let's see what the penalty is. It'll be outside San Francisco. They're going to kick again.
Washington. They moved.
And that means that this good kick.
Penalty.
And now they got a San Francisco will decline. 6.5. First down, Young. Young again. Stop by Brent Jones. And first down. There's a penalty. And it's interference. They're going to decline it. So it'll be first down for San Francisco. Young.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd and 8. 2nd down and 8. From the 43, 60 from the point. Floyd.
3rd down. Penalty.
Short. There's another penalty, and it's an illegal block, and that's the bad kind. 15 yards. Young. Shot by
3rd
Thompson.
down.
All that was big. Ted Thompson. 3rd and 8. 3rd down and 8. Young. Young to throw. The pump fake to throw. Thompson again. Where did this guy come from? Okevich with the stop. Where did this guy come from?
I think that was Okowitz, Neil Okowitz.
Okowitz, sorry. I'm thinking of Mike Krzyzewski's in his name. It'll be first down, Young. And it is right. Only like his third catch. It'll be 2nd and 5, might even be his second.
Can we actually say, oh my goodness, someone's actually got a drive and is in field goal range?
Well, they're starting to. They stalled both teams the last time. But you can see the Giants starting up. 2nd down and 5. Young. They might just hand the football off right now. They might just hand it off to get the field goal attempt. Young on 3rd and 4, and they do. LaVille's gone! Derek LaVille! And Derek LaVille at 6-0 now. Oh, wow. It wasn't Steve Young in a throw. It was Derek LaVille, the journeyman, who ended up with Denver. Played a big role in that Super Bowl team. That's right. The extra point. Elvis Sturback from Michigan holding. Sturback will go on to start with Kansas City.
I think his name is pronounced Breen, if I remember correctly.
Really?
I think his name is pronounced Breen.
Okay. Wow. I knew. There we go. Something new every day.
Well, I could be wrong, but I want to say the sportscasters, they called it Breen.
And I'll tell you what, you're probably right. It's one of those names that everybody mispronounces and maybe becomes like local. Like, you know, like everybody says a mispronunciation, they get used to it. But Breen, okay, there we go. There's going to be a flag. Washington will run. Let's see what it is.
Penalty.
And it's going to be a legal procedure, 1st and 15. 1st and 15. Theismann to Washington. Washington again. Washington will get a first down to the 49. That'll be 2 minutes.
You see how Riggins has had some runs, but this has become more of a Joe Washington game. I mean, they're down, and they got to throw more, and Washington was definitely a safety valve for them. That was a sure reception and some yards. So it looks like Washington's just, going back to the air and change their game plan because they know that San Francisco can put up 1,000 points easily.
Oh, yeah. 2 minutes. And that's a 164-53. 5-2 first downs. It's just all purple in San Francisco, except for the penalties. But it's 7-0 here under 2 minutes to go. 159, and here's Theismann. Theismann will go, he'll look. Theismann will throw under pressure. And incomplete. It'll be second down. 2nd and 10. Theismann will look. He'll throw right down the middle. He's got him in, and it is incomplete.
3rd down.
3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10. Theismann. Back to throw, looking through the middle, and incomplete.
4th down.
It'll be 4th down and 10. They're going to catch. Well, what do you do if you're San Francisco? Honestly, I get to the half. That's the Carter to the 10. So 1st down and 10. Young and this could be 7-2. Imagine if we go overtime, be 10 overtime. 2nd and 17. Young.
3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down and 15. Timeout, Redskins. Remaining. Young.
4th down.
4th and 15.
Almost a block.
Oh, that would have been big. Now, So
If
now
Washington can get themselves 20 yards, they can make this, almost a guarantee, a 7-3 at the half. It'll lick their wounds.
that would be big. It's going to be first down. Theismann. And Theismann will go, and it is caught by Say. Virgil Say. And it'll be first down and 10. They got to hurry. 47 seconds. Theismann to Washington.
Second down.
And that'll be another timeout. One remaining. Second and 4. Theismann incomplete.
Third down. Injury.
There's an injury, and Charlie Brown is down. That's what happens when Lucy holds the football, spraining his ankle.
And here's an interesting fact. Clint Didier was a tight end. So they're bringing him in as a split end.
This should get interesting. Third down and 4.
Right now they're in Mosley's range. This was the range. He only missed one kick. So this is almost a guarantee field goal, provided they don't turn the ball over.
So it'll be third and 4. Theismann, and it is incomplete.
Fourth down.
Now they got a kick. 30 seconds.
And the funny thing
Mosley.
is, you're going to see, if you remember, Theismann always held for Mosley. The way the game is built, it just takes the backup quarterback. And this is going to be Tom Owen, who formerly played for the New England Patriots. And I think San Francisco at one point. And then his last season was in 1982 as a backup to Theismann. He only played in the preseason. He didn't play in the regular season or the playoffs. And if you watch the Riggins touchdown, the famous touchdown, if you go to YouTube and you watch it, and you see people congratulating and jumping on top of John Riggins for scoring, you're going to see a guy without a helmet, number 17, not Doug Williams, he wasn't on the team yet, number 17, patting him on the back and congratulating him. That was Tom Owen, former Patriot. And he is the backup, so he's actually going to hold. It's just the way the game is designed. It won't be Theismann.
Maybe it'll glitch and we get to see Tom Owen in the second half.
No, let's not do that, because the only statistics we had to go off of were his preseason numbers. So, which I'm not saying are bad, it's just they're not going to be the most. The thing about the 82 team, the strike season, there were only nine games in the regular season. But when we built the 82 Redskins for this game for the NFL 100, I went in and added up all the stats for all the playoff games in the Super Bowl. So I ended up with 13 games worth of stats. So I tried to make it based off of the whole season, just in fairness, to compete with the 16. So they were game shy of 14, which some teams had 14 games. And then some had 12. So I was just trying to make it as statistically accurate as possible and ratings accurate as possible, take into account everything. Otherwise, I would, everybody's off the regular season. But for them, because it was such a strike-shortened season, it was the only way to put their information in to make it competitive. Otherwise, nobody in 82 does anything against anybody.
So here we go. It's Mosley. This will be 45 yards. Straight on kicker. And it is good. You're right. It is just right there, right down the middle. And it is 7-3. Mosley will kick off. So the NFL MVP of 1982. And the ball beyond the goal line here is Walker. To the 22. To the 23, they're going to have a couple more throws. They have all three timeouts. Young, and it is McCaffrey. And McCaffrey will be a first down. There's a penalty. It's going to be an eligible receiver. And San Francisco will have A couple more throws. So Young run and he goes down.
Wow. You figure Young get 15 yards on a play like that. I tell you what, Washington's defense, credit where credit's due. They have been fantastic in this half. They're all over the place.
They are. And containing Young, that was big. Because now they just got to throw a Hail Mary here, and that's going to be it. Young is actually
Third down, out of bounds.
They might get one more. They will get one more play. Charlie Brown will be in after the half. They got 1 second. They're going to just throw it down the field. Young. And here it is. Oh, they're going to be short. Taylor. And that'll be it. At the end of one half, mercifully, at the end, it is San Francisco 7, Washington 3. The game has picked up a little bit, but for Washington, 5 of 18 throwing. Oh my goodness. They were 2 of 9. They were 3 of 9 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Analysis. I'll get some water here.
Yeah, the both defenses have played incredibly well. You would figure, I'd figure San Francisco would have at least another touchdown. But both teams have had all kinds of offensive woes. So I'm waiting for one, and Washington's still in this game. I'm waiting for one of these teams to just explode in the second half offensively and take control. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. The Redskins statistically are not doing good at all, but they're still in the game. And they've got a whole nother half. I mean, Riggins has 4 rushes for 10 yards. Washington has 5 for 19. That's where we are. It's Theismann has the longest run when he had to take off himself. He got 9 yards. Go back to quarterbacks here. Let's take a look at Steve Young. He's 11 for 16, 68.8%. In real life, he was 70.2. So, I mean, he's, percentage-wise, he's roughly on par. 97 yards. He was been sacked. His longest pass has only been 15 yards. I mean, Washington's defense is giving him all kinds of problems. To their credit, he's still got his accuracy, though. The rushing leader is Ricky Waters, 13 rushes for 46 yards. And Lavelle has the lone touchdown of the game. Receiving, Taylor has 3 receptions, where Popson and Rice. Popson, who is the backup tight end, I might add. Brett Jones does have a reception, but Popson has actually caught 2, and they were back-to-back. I think it was just kind of a surprise when he caught the first one. Steve Young said, I'm going to hit him again. Back-to-back plays, and he did. But San Francisco's been able to spread out passing, and you got Jones, Waters, Singleton, and Floyd each with a catch. Defensively, the 49ers have – Dennis Brown has a sack. And Ricky Jackson and Antonio Goss are your tackle leaders. For Washington, Darrell Grant and Mel Kaufman and Neil Oklewicz have 5 and 6 tackles, so they're your defensive leaders. And Cronin, the right outside linebacker, has the sack for Washington. Kicking, Mosley, the only field goal. It was a short to mid. It was 44 yards. So again, keep an eye on Mosley, because while he only missed 1 field goal that year, he actually missed a bunch of extra points, which is just a bizarre statistic. I want to say he was 89% on extra points. So that's something to keep. And I've seen this playing this game as the 82 Redskins. Just when you think you get up there, then he misses an extra point. You're like, wait, Mosley missed an extra point? But he actually did in real life. It's just a bizarre fact with Mark Mosley. But, Chris, I'll hand it off to you, and we'll kick off the second half, and hopefully one of these offenses will actually do something.
I hope so. It's 11:53 at night, and here in Thailand, and I got work tomorrow. So hopefully the offense starts generating now up to the 24. So the Thai's been 10 of 36, would seem out of the realm, but it's first down. First down and 10. Theismann. No.
Second down.
No. No. It's going to be second down and 10. And Theismann. Theismann again down the middle, and
Third down.
same thing. Third down and 10. And let's see what they do. Theismann. No.
Fourth
No.
down.
Okay, no.
That's the
It's
second
fourth-
time. That's the second time in this game. 3 passes for Washington by Theismann, 3 incompletions, and now they got to turn around and punt.
So that was brutal. That was brutal. And it's 4th and 10, and now they got to get high and deep.
And
Actually,
Theismann's not a bad quarterback by any means. That just shows you how tough the San Francisco defense is on him. I mean, yeah, he can't hit anybody.
Oh my goodness, he couldn't even hit the ground. I think some of those incompletions just floated away. First down and 10. Young. Intercepted. Well, if you want to give somebody who's like 5 for 64 passing a chance, you throw it to them and show how a completion happens. By Coffin. And now we get treated to 3 more incompletions and Mark Mosley. So it'll be
Washington,
down.
I bet you Washington goes to the ground game here. I bet you they try to go to Riggins and grind this thing out, but who knows? This could watch this end up being one of those games where you look at the statistics and you're like, San Francisco's destroyed them, didn't they? And then Washington wins the game because they've got the points. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, this could be one of those games if Washington plays their cards right.
Being a Steeler fan, I'm used to that. I forget the one where Tommy Maddox, I think it was the Texans. They had 4 times the yards and all the interceptions.
That was the most lopsided victory, and that was when it came to numbers versus the scoreboard. It was the biggest in history. That was just. I remember watching a game just like, how is this possible? And it's against an expansion team in the first year. It's like, how is this even humanly possible? It was just a bizarre game. And if Washington's able to score, especially if they get in the end zone and take the lead, this could be Pittsburgh, Houston all over again from 2002.
It could be. It'll be first down and 10. Oh.
Second down.
Oh, God.
Okay, that was just a bad throw. I mean, he should have nailed Washington.
And it'll be second and 10.
Okay, hopefully my prediction comes out because Redskins is now in the lineup. Hammer it with the diesel, see what happens, but who knows.
Second down and 10. It's going to be on San Francisco.
Third down, penalty.
And it'll be Gary Plummer with the defense. Second and 5 now. So that'll move him in to range. Second and 5, Washington.
Third down, out of bounds.
Third down and 4. Just quarterback sneak it, Joe.
Down.
It'll be 4th and 6. And now a 47-yarder.
I think this is in the range where he missed, but we'll see.
High and deep, and this could be good, and it is. 7-6. Oh my goodness! And now the kick.
Washington
Mosley.
should not be in this game at all. They should not be in this game, and yet they're only down by a point.
Oh God, this is horrible. Catch the Carter. And to the 23, first down and 10. Let's see what San Francisco can do. Young. To Tim Floyd, and Floyd.
Down.
William Floyd. Sorry, Tim Floyd's the coach for the Bulls. Second down and 4. People probably flipping Wikipedia right now. Hey, did that guy actually play? But no, that's William Floyd. Ricky Waters for 9 and a first down. And here come the 49ers.
Second down.
It'll be second and 13. This is more like Miami, Penn State at 1986 Fiesta Bowl. Really right.
Third down.
It'll be third down and 7. Third and 7. Young will run, and he will get a first down and more. Here comes Steve Young down to the 42 and a first down.
They weren't weren't able to contain him on that
He just went right up the middle. It'll be 1st and 10. There's motion, Young. Young to LaVille. That's the only touchdown today. It'll be 2nd and 6. They're driving down the field. Young. Back to throw. They throw to Ricky Waters. The 1st down and more. Down to the 20. Here comes Waters to the 15, to the 10. We got to the 2. Oh, that was so big. And now San Francisco wants to take a big lead. Ricky Waters. And Waters reminds you of the yodeler on The Price is Right. You never know when he's going to stop. Out at the 2. 1st down and goal. Waters, nothing. Thought he was going to get in. 2nd and goal. Halfway through the 3rd. Young to Waters.
Third down.
3rd down and goal. Young to Williams. Do they go for it?
Wow. Credit what credit's due. The Redskins defense was like, nope, you're not getting in the end zone right now. We're going to make you kick 3. Wow.
And this is big. It's 4th and goal. And Doug.
Breen.
Will be up and Breen, yeah, he poked it through.
Old
It
school
is
extra
11
point, basically.
Oh, yeah. 11 plays. And that one was pretty good. 10-6. This is the type of game where Washington out of nowhere will put together a 15-play drive. They'll put together a 15. They'll go up 14-10, and they'll win the game 14-13. It's just the way it happened.
2nd down.
And he got 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I think he tried to pull a Steve Young. Didn't do nearly as well, though. Not bad. He just didn't do nearly as well.
It'll be 2nd down and 7. Theismann again.
3rd down.
3rd down and 7. Theismann, the push is on. Incomplete.
4th down.
And they got a punt. They got a kick. Here's Hayes. High kick. And back. And Carter. It's Monday morning here in Thailand, which means the Super Bowl just ended. And it's incomplete.
2nd down.
Not for us.
Yeah, I know. I won't spoil it and say the Bengals 28-19 winners over the Rams. I won't spoil it. 2nd down and 10. Young to LaVille. And a few of
3rd
them.
down.
3rd
Out of
down.
bounds.
3rd and 6. They got Young, and that's going to be a flag. A delay a game. 3rd and 11. And they move. They jumped off sides. It evens it out.
Back-to-back penalties. We're just making the game take longer.
Oh, God, this is horrible. 3rd and 6. I love games where they're into it and everything. This is not one of them. They got John Taylor in a 1st down. So a 1st down for the 49ers. Young, incomplete.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd and 10. Young,
3rd down.
incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Young's turning into Theismann. He can't complete anything. Why don't you
Yeah.
go 3 and out right here?
It would be 50 from this point. Young, and incomplete.
4th
I
down.
think I just jinxed Steve Young. Sorry, Mr. Young. Yeah, you just pulled a Theismann and went 3 and out.
And now let's see what they can do. They're going to try. And he shanks it to the left. And it's still 10-6.
And Washington's going to have decent field position.
They will. So they're going to, Washington be punting from the 40-yard line now. So it'll be 1st and 10. Tyson gets
down.
killed.
No, they
It'll
won't be
be
punting from
second
there.
and-
They'll be punting even farther back now.
Yeah. 2nd and 18. Tyson, Washington.
3rd down.
A gain of 1, 3rd and 17. Tyson. And the throw, and it is, guess
down.
what? Incomplete.
If it was complete, we'd be surprised at this point.
Oh, there'd be a ticker tape parade. Hayes, high and deep. And it is. Just run the quarter out if you're San Francisco. Young to Ricky Waters in the 1st down. Here they come, 1st and 10. Young to Logan.
2nd
That's
down.
what they want, 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7, midfield. Young again, incomplete.
down.
Why would they do that? 3rd and 7. Young, Waters, he fumbled, but they get it back, 4th and 3, and that's the end of the quarter. The end of the 3rd quarter. I can't believe I'm saying this. If you ever seen a 4-point blowout in your life, you're watching one now. It's 10-6. Washington still has a chance to win this game? No way.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had the Mel Kaufman interception that put them in great field position. They couldn't do anything. You know, you get one of those again. Your defense he's playing like it is. You get one of those again, but you get in the end zone, you win this game. I mean, San Francisco will have all the statistics, and Washington walks away with the win if that happens. Which, the way this game is going, I don't think is impossible.
Theismann was 0 of 7 in that quarter. And he was 0 of 7. So he hasn't completed a pass since a long time. And Young is starting to be him. So there is really not too much of note here, except for the futility.
They haven't been able to be in their existing game plan. I mean, they haven't been able to give the ball to Riggins because they've been trying to catch up. And that's why Theismann's 0 for a million. It's just because San Francisco knows it, and they've got to. They've got to throw the ball.
All right. So San Francisco, you can see the stats there. We're probably, I would say, go to the 4th quarter here. It's just the time. I think that here's Wilmsmeyer. Oh, I thought that was going to be blocked. That would have been a heck of a. That would have been the thing.
Sadly, he kicked it too good. But
So,
yeah,
51.
I say we get through this game, do very limited post game, and then call it a day or night, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah. So the 1st down, Theismann. Oh.
2nd down.
Well, he tried to throw it to Riggins. He tried to get it to Riggins.
2nd and 10. Theismann. Oh,
3rd down. Out of bounds.
Well, it's only for 2 yards, but it's a start.
It'll be 3rd down and 8. Theismann. Oh.
4th down.
1 for 10 this half. There's Hayes. There's the catch. High and deep. And Dexter Carter. Let's see what San Francisco does. I know they love an 8-minute drive.
Second down, out of
Why
bounds.
did you run out of bounds? That's a free timeout for Washington.
Second down and 13.
Third down.
Third down and 8. Young. Oh.
Fourth down.
And now they got a catch. This is like one of those games in 2nd and 10. When you look at the the game. And it's just punt. First and 10. Theismann to Washington.
Second down.
4, second down and 6. They got some yards. Theismann.
Third down.
Third down and 3.
Fourth down.
Brown, they got a punt.
Well, give him credit. Deion Sanders with the tackle held Charlie Brown to only 1 yard. You got to throw the ball. I mean, you got to throw it downfield. Why are you doing this little? Yeah, you're completing passes, but for 1 and 2 yards, you're not getting anything. You're not getting anywhere.
Now they're going to catch it. And 8. And it'll be 10-6. This reminds me of the Bills Broncos
Second
AFC
down.
Championship
Injury.
game. And Derek LaVille is down. Gordon Waters incomplete.
Third down.
Third and 10. Young. Got it. Singleton, the first down. They need to get about 8 minutes off this clock. First down, Young.
Second down.
Florida State. It'll be 2nd and 6. LaVille will be back in. Second and
Third down. Injury.
third down and 2. Another injury. Young is down. Elvis Gerback from Michigan will come in. Oh, this is going to be fun.
It could be, but we'll see. You figure he's just going to run the ball, but who knows?
Who knows? We might see a pick 6. Gerback. And it is caught by McCaffrey. McCaffrey down to the 13 and a first down.
Surprise!
Ed McCaffrey. And this is going to mean that if San Francisco gets a field goal, oh no, the unthinkable overtime.
I'll yank the cord out of the wall and the system will die, and this game will have never happened at that point.
So it'll be first down, halfway through the 4th. Gerback to throw again, the throw, and it is incomplete.
Second down.
It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He's turning into Joe Theismann, but I expected this game to be entertaining. And I got to tell you, it's been a hit your head up against the wall kind of game. Like, when will this end?
No, that would be entertaining. Now, that would be entertaining if we did that. We could see new colors and stuff like that. This is like...
Third down.
This is like watching curling on cement.
This is the ball. Yeah, I say this is the ball game. They get in the end zone, the game's over. They get a field goal, we could be in trouble.
Oh yeah. 3rd and 7. Third back.
Fourth down.
We could be in trouble.
And here's Doug. Up, over, and good.
Well, actually, here's how we're not potentially in trouble. Don't forget about Mosley's woes with kicking extra points. Or option 2, Washington says, you know what? Forget it. We're going for 2 if they get in the end zone. So it's win or lose right there. That would be awesome. I don't think Joe Gibbs would do that, but it would be awesome.
Not with this offense. This offense at 2 yards looks like the Sahara Desert. Sonic Cross, that's it.
Touchback.
Now 6:43 to go. Young will be back in after Elvis Gerback had a heck of a run. First down.
Well, you know what? If Steve Young were in this, we might be talking. Let's just end this game now because it's over. But I don't know. We'll see. But if Theismann's going to keep being Theismann and go 0 for 900, then this game's already over. But watch him get hot on this drive.
Oh, they remember the 14-play drive out of nowhere.
I forgot who it was. The team that couldn't. It was the Bears. The 63 Bears against the 91 Redskins. All of a sudden, the quarterback was 0 for a million, and all of a sudden, he was completing everything left and right, and you were like, where did this come from? Exactly. I mean, Theismann has the ability of being that quarterback, of doing it the whole game, but he hasn't done it, so I guess now he's going to break loose, but who can tell? And by the way, we were talking about how that game was kind of boring. We couldn't wait for that to end. That 63, I thought it was going to be a blowout by Washington, and they won in overtime. The 63 Bears defense, the amount of points that they allowed in a game was less than the 85 Bears. They were actually better than the 85 Bears on that statistic. They actually allowed, granted it was less games, but they still allowed like 3 points less a game. So their defense was insane. So that's why Washington had all those problems. It was reflected in the 63 Bears the way it was built. So now in hindsight, it makes sense.
Yeah, and if you watch those NFL Game of the Weeks in the 70s, they call the 60s the pass-happy 60s. And that wasn't just the AFL. So that was a legit defense. You know, the 70s kind of get skewed because of the running offenses. But in the 60s, they did throw the ball. It'll be 1st and 10. And we're going to watch it. Here's John Riggins.
Second down.
And he gains 6. Wow. How about that? Let's run the football with John Riggins.
Yeah, well, they haven't had the opportunity to, but if you're going to do a time-controlled drive, if you're going to run them, now might be the time. And you take the pressure off of Theismann.
You have to. 2nd and 4. Theismann is going to Washington.
3rd down.
And he gets nothing. 3rd down and 4.
Now, Theismann has to be the Joe Theismann of that era and complete a big pass right now, or this game might be over.
Yeah, it's 3rd down and 4. 5:24. Theismann. Back to throw. He's going to throw it a little deep. And it's Charlie Brown. It's Charlie Brown with this aim that's going to do something. He's going to catch something like that. And it'll be a 1st down for Washington. Charlie Brown at the very bottom of the screen. They needed 4, and they got about 24.
And he did it against Deion Sanders. That is not easy. People deliberately would not throw to the side of Deion Sanders. His numbers were not maybe as good as they could have been, if you will, but people weren't throwing to his side of the field because they just didn't even want to bother. They were just trying to throw the other side of the field because they had a better shot, even though they might have had more players over there because no one wanted to throw in the area of Deion Sanders. So for Theismann to pull this off and hit Brown, who's a great receiver, I mean, they've been having trouble all day. This might open something up.
It might. Let's see. This is that 14-play drive we talked about. Out of nowhere.
Second down.
A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down. 4 minutes to go in the game. Theismann again. Good throw. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 7.
2-down territory. Or you could try to get the field goal now if you're able to get, if Mosley could kick a long one and just hope for a 3 and out.
That could be possible. San Francisco is not, they're up and down in their offense. It'll be 3rd and 7. Theismann. It is not by Charlie Brown down to the 25, down to the 20. And the 1st down.
Wow, is this what Washington needed or what? Now
And
they're playing
again,
like they want to win this game.
Where was this all game? Theismann, and you can see on this replay to Charlie Brown. And it'll be inside the 20 to the 19. 1st down and 10.
And again, Deion Sanders was the one that saved it.
And very big here. It'll be 1st and 10. 3:20 to go. And they jump off sides. It'll be 1st and 5.
I was about to
First
say
down
you
and-
might go with Riggins on this, but no, Washington's going to throw the ball.
So it'll be 1st down and 5, 3:20 to go. Motion, Dyson to Washington. First down, 1st and goal.
Here we go, Chris. Potential overtime.
1st and goal. Dyson, they give to Washington. He's going to throw, and it's caught. Touchdown. Okay. 75 yards. And that is Washington among, so they don't trust Theismann.
I will say that in real life, Joe Washington did attempt a halfback pass in the regular season and did complete it. In real life in 82, he actually did. If you look at the statistics, you don't even see, we were talking about Tom Owen as the backup, but he never played. So if you look at the statistics for Washington, they had 2 people who threw the ball, Theismann, and you had Joe Washington, who was 1 for 1. So that is actually reflective of real life, and they pull that out now when they're in the red zone. And here comes the big Mark Mosley. Are you going to mess up the extra point because you're 89% on kicks? Are you going to tie it now for a potential overtime?
No, this is going to be fun right here. So here we go, 13-12. Mosley, the extra point.
82% chance. He got it.
And Mosley gets it. My God, we're tied.
Yeah, but don't forget, you also have a Steve Young-led team, and all they got to do is get in field goal range and eat up the clock.
That is true. I'll tell you what, if Washington were to get a stop here and win this game, oh my goodness. It'll be high and deep. And into the end zone. They're going to take it here. Oh, they're taking it out. Extra clock. Oh, what a mistake that was. They lost 10 yards on that decision. It'll be 1st and 10. Boy, nothing.
Now, you know what,
2-minute
Chris?
warning.
Now it is. It's about to be. Now it's exciting. All of a sudden, this game from, oh, God, just please let it end too. When Washington scored, if they're able to force a field goal, a punt by San Francisco, Washington has no statistics, but they could actually win this game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll be 2 minutes right here.
2-minute warning.
And you're gonna see statistics right here. 349 to 148. And the 148 has all the momentum. 11-34 is right now outperforming 20 of 36. Oh my God, 12-8 in punts, 20 punts.
Over 10 minutes on time of possession.
Oh, this is third down conversions.
Yeah, Washington, the only stat they're winning on is they don't have a turnover, and they only have 3 penalties while San Francisco has 7. That's where Washington's winning this game. And the turnover was Steve Young was picked off by, I think it was Mel Kaufman, the linebacker, who got Washington in great position. They went 3 and out, if I remember. I know they couldn't do anything. They had to kick a field goal. Watch that end up being the difference. Watch that bizarre play end up being the difference. This game is just nuts. You're looking at this going, San Francisco should be winning 45-3. We're tied at 13.
Yeah. So we got 2 minutes left, and right now, let's see what happens. 2 minutes. And it's 2nd and 12. Young, the water, nothing. What are they going to do? They're going to let it run, or are they going to call timeout? And if they do, who will? Let's see.
I think Young's got to throw the ball. I think he's got to throw it deep. I think he's got to throw at least a medium pass to try to get the first down right now. I don't think you run it. I think you've got to throw it, even if it's incomplete, because you've got to try for the first down and heave that thing. You can't be messing around with the run, because either way, you're still going to have to punt it if you don't get it. But then again, you look at the field position. Look at where they are. They're on their own 13. If it's an incomplete pass, they're punting from the 13. If they're able to get 5 yards running, then they're punting from their 18, and that 5 yards might be the difference for Mosley putting him out of field goal range.
It might be. It's going to be a big 3rd and 12. Washington calling a timeout. They got 2 remaining. Young, the Floyd, Williams, Floyd, double, and Washington has it right here. They have it right here.
Unreal. Are you kidding me? What are the odds of all of this happening? This game defies complete logic. It defies statistics. It defies everything except for a destiny, for crying out loud. Washington should not be in this game, and they're a minute 54 away from winning.
Well, San Francisco's got to use their timeouts now. It'll be 1st down and 10.
Now, do you run Riggins now? Because you've taken away all of that from him. Do you run him now?
Yeah, you run right up the middle, and you make San Francisco use all their timeouts. They have to.
And do what Bill Cowher said to Jerome Bettis in the Super Bowl. I don't care how many yards you get, you hold on to the ball.
Yeah. This will be 1st and 10. Right up the middle.
And that's exactly what we figured, and San Francisco thought the same thing. But here come the timeouts.
So timeout, but this is the thing, you're getting it out of their system, all 3 of them. You get a 1st down here, game is over. 2nd and 10.
Only Washington in the backfield. It's either going to be a pitch to him or Theismann's throwing this thing.
2nd and 10. They're going to give to Washington. Washington to the 10. Washington a 1st down, and this is going to be big.
Wow, this is absolute insanity. Who would have thought this? Now it's an exciting game once we get deep into the 4th quarter. This is just absolute nuts.
The only thing going through my head is if Washington wins, we have to do this team all over again. 1st and goal.
Hey, but maybe they're one of those teams of destiny, or maybe they actually play better against their next opponent. Who knows? But this is going to, if they win this is an upset. This is definitely an upset.
This is, I'll tell you what, if they win, this isn't an upset. This is a religious experience because this is like a miracle right now. This is something that goes in a book and is passed down through generations. It'll be 2nd and goal, and San Francisco out of timeouts. They're going to run the football. These might be the last couple plays, really.
3rd down.
Nothing in the middle. It'll be 3rd down and goal, down to about 45 seconds. That's it. They're going to kick it on the last one.
Give it to Riggins. Just run it up the gut. And just, like I said, Cowher saying to Jerome Bettis, I don't care how many yards you get, just hold on to the ball.
I'm a Theismann. I just take an knee. There they go, Riggins. And he's down to the 2.
Wow, he
It'll
almost
be
scored
4th and
too.
goal.
He almost scored.
I think it's one where he wanted to take a knee so that the 49ers wouldn't have 40 seconds to get down the field. Mosley with 6 seconds. This is it. This is to put Washington in to the next round.
This is absolute insanity. If you had told me the game was going to end like this, even if for argument's sake it's blocked or a miss, I would have told you were out of your mind. This would be a huge, huge boost to this team's morale, saying, look, we just beat one of the greatest teams in history. And we shouldn't have been in the game, but we were. So we could beat anybody. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Remember, Mosley only missed 1 kick, 1 field goal all year. Is he destined to miss this one now? Or is he going to be the MVP that he was in 1982? He's the only kicker to be an MVP in the league. He has the chance of sending the Redskins on to the 2nd round in a game they should not have even remotely been in.
And here we go. That means Mosley, and if he can out, there will still be time on the clock, but it'll almost be all over. Mosley to win it. It is up over, and he just pokes it through like nothing. And there's still, I think, no, it's over. It's over. The clock runs out, and the Washington Redskins have upset the San Francisco 49ers 16-13 in a game where they've been outgained almost, I would probably say, let's see, 2-1. They've been outgained 2-1. They've been outrushed almost 2-1. They've been outpassed 2-1. They've been sacked more times. They have been total offense wise.
Almost
It's
10
been
more,
2-1.
almost 10-minute difference in time of possession. I mean, the only stats that Washington won was turnovers. Each team, well, Washington had a fumble, but they recovered it. San Francisco had 2 turnovers, and one of them was a pick that gave Washington a field goal. Penalties. San Francisco had 7, and Washington had 3. They had a more disciplined game. You look at this, and you're like, there is just no way Washington is in this game. And they pull off a huge win with no numbers, but enough on the scoreboard. I mean, again, this is like the 2002 Texans beating the Steelers, where the Steelers had all the stats, but the Texans had all the points.
Yep, right there, and that's it. Not too much you can dissect from what we showed before. You could just say that San Francisco, they had moments where they drove down the field, but they stalled. They always stalled. And that was a big one. When you get down to the 40 of Washington and you got a punt. Oh, that's tough. Well, what can you say? Seriously, what can you say about something like that? Deion Sanders giving up those 2 long completions to Charlie Brown. That was a turning point. And taking a look, Mel Kaufman, the interception. That was a big one. That was a big one. And when you take a look at this, Mosley was 3 of 3. 47 yards was his longest. And Dougie B, 2 of 4. He would have loved, his longest was 27. He would have loved to have one of those that he missed back.
If he had a boat, they win the game. If he had a
You're
boat,
right.
they won the game. This game defied all logic. All logic. What an insane game. It makes no sense whatsoever.
And since it's the last thing before I go to bed, I'm going to have weird fever dreams about this. This is crazy. But the next game will be the 60 Eagles and the 26 New England Patriots. That'll be a mismatch. Possibly. Though the Eagles in 1960, I believe they had Tommy McDonald.
I think they did.
They are a good passing team.
Yeah. You know what? We could see an outcome. I don't want to knock the Eagles because we could see an outcome like we just saw with Washington against San Francisco. Makes no sense. But we could see an outcome with Philadelphia winning that game in that fashion. It's not impossible. But this game was just absolute insanity, made no sense, and somehow Washington pulls it off. I mean, it just defies logic altogether. They should not have been in this game. So in a bizarre way, you got to root for them now because how did they do that? And against one of the better teams in history.
You know, I love football and I love this game. I love football and love this game. But if you were ever going to have the boringest last-second victory ever in a game, that was more weird than it was exciting. It was like watching a plane wreck. You're like, oh my goodness, that was horrible. But your eyes are just like looking to it, not believing what you're seeing. You want to turn away, but you're like, no way, no way. And then when it happens, it's like, it just happened.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was just insanity. We had 2 upsets today. 2 upsets today. And one of them was kind of domination by the 2007 Giants over the 2013 Seahawks, but that was a Pete Carroll game more than
Yeah.
anything else. This game was, it doesn't make any sense. San Francisco has all the numbers. Washington came back and won. It just does not make sense at all. I
And
mean,
this is,
but that's
when you
why I
look at
love
the,
this game.
yeah,
Sometimes you just think, oh, this is going to be a blowout, and you're like, wait a minute, how did this just happen? It defies complete logic. But yeah, and with that, and with that, Chris, I'm going to head out, and I know you're going to get ready to go to bed. But I appreciate you doing these streams again, and hopefully soon we'll get to do another one of these double headers. Chris, I want to thank you for joining in again, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
okay, definitely, definitely, and maybe get a game. We can have a game where I won't be falling asleep in the third quarter. Then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, we're doing who's winning what?
Yeah, the fourth
And
quarter
it's
woke
like,
you up a little bit.
yeah, it's like the last minute and a half woke me up because
Yeah.
the first 13 and a half minutes was punt, punt, punt. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what the heck? It's like, what, Charlie Brown? And then all of a
Who's a
sudden
great receiver, but Washington's
yeah,
offense did nothing at all day, and he gets
Deion
past
Sanders
Deion
twice.
Sanders twice in the same drive and made Deion embarrassed him. It was like, whoa, where did this come from?
What in the heck? It's almost like Timmy Smith, the Washington Redskins tradition of one-hit wonders. It's like, though Charlie Brown was really good at what he did. Don't get me wrong;
He
he was really good
was.
for a sustained period. But it's like in the game, it's like boom, boom. But again, it's just like I said, when you have these games, you always get these one like long drive that comes out of nowhere.
And that's what
And
Washington did. And then
yep,
and then their defense stepped up, and San Francisco couldn't get the first down. Gave them great field position where all they had to do was get in field goal, and they almost scored. I'll be honest with you. If there was more time on the clock and they had another down, I think Washington would have scored with Riggins. But they didn't need it. They just kicked the chip shot field goal with Mosley, who essentially doesn't miss field goals. And that's how they pulled it off. So, but Chris, I appreciate you doing this, and hopefully we'll get to do this again soon.
all right. Have a great day. I got to get to bed.
All right.
So,
Have a good night, Chris.
all right. Have
All
a
right.
great day.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.